Right. G'day. Oh, sorry about that light. Turn it off, shouldn't I? Bit better. Sign into chat. Oh, I'm not signed in. For Jesus. I remember my password. Won't say it on here. Oh. Oh, two-step verification. Everything's two-step verification. Yay.
Hey.
All right. G'day, Finn. How are you? I am brewing, but it's actually like right behind me. I'm in the boil. I probably should have moved it, shouldn't I? But anyway. I'm nearly finished. The boil started at 12 minutes ago, and there's no whirlpool or anything, and I'm no chilling, so my voice is still a bit stuffed from being crook. Yeah, so it's not really long to go. All I'm going to do is wait, give it the hour, boil it for an hour, and put in a no-chill cube, and I'll probably have time to clean up today. I was going to say I'll leave it for tomorrow, but I've already washed the mash pipe. You know, it's only really the boil kettle. There's no chiller or anything to wash. Nothing like that. I made sure I was supposed to start a little bit earlier live. I didn't tell anyone, but so a few people kind of knew, and but I just wanted to make sure everything was done. Like I got my hops in. Usually I don't. Usually I do it all live, but today I just wanted to make sure everything was done, except for turning. Oh, I've got to put the wort lock in and stuff, which I'll set an alarm for now. Otherwise, I'll probably miss it. What time did I say I was going to put the wort lock in? 4:55. "34 minutes before the wort lock and the boil finish." Yeah, that's about right. G'day, John. Sorry I was late, mate. I just wanted to get everything ready so I wasn't running around. Quick. I have got home brew here, but I just opened a can. I went and got a can out of the fridge, so. And it is just I'll have a home brew after this. But it's one of those champions beer. I still found another 3 or 4 at the back of the fridge. Jeez. Oh, it's been sitting here. It's got warm. That's not too bad. You're just getting to sleep. Oh, it's 6:30 over there. Oh, you're in New Zealand, aren't you? Finner's in New Zealand. Going a bit early, mate. You're tired. I know you've got the tired issue things. Homegrown hops. Oh, it must be last year's, yeah? Wouldn't have them ready this year. I wouldn't guess. Is that loud enough, the mic? I don't know. I can't tell here. I haven't got headphones or anything. But interesting brew. I've sort of done this before during lockdown where I'd run out of grain. And so I went searching in the local area for stuff I could find. And that's what I've done today. Even though a new bag of grain actually did turn up the other couple of days ago. I'd already got all the stuff ready for this brew, and I got really sick. I got the flu, and I've been sick, so I had grain turn up in that time. But I had this all ready to go and set up and stuff, so I just thought I'll do it anyway. Bit of an experiment. So there's mostly Woolies ingredients. Woolworths. There's a couple of kilo of proper grain, like 2 kilo of base grain, there's a little bit of honey malt and a little bit of tritordium. But the rest is Woolies ingredients. My hops are growing now, which is pretty early for here. They've started up a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know. I've got to remember to water them, or otherwise I've never used, excuse me. I've been growing hops since, well, we've been here 13 years, and I was growing them for a good 5-6 years before then at least, and I've never used them in a beer. Never used them. I can't even remember what the first variety was. This is American, Cascade. It'd be Australian Cascade, I would assume, because I bought it from Bunnings. It was sold as a hop beer flour or something, and I did a little bit of research, and it's Cascade. But I've never used them. I get enough to use, but most of the time it's summer here, and I've been away over, visiting family over January, and they get caned by the hot weather and the wind and stuff in the backyard, and unless you store them and drying them's a real pain, as you probably know. Unless you do that, you got to use them in that couple of days. You got to be ready to brew, and they've got to be ready to pick. You've got a 3 or 4 day window. And I've never, with the kids and, family life and stuff, it's always too hard. Might be different this year, or next year it'll be. Be next year. No, I'm not on Twitch at the moment, no. I could have set it up, but because I'm in the garage, have I streamed on? I probably have. I don't remember. But I'm not on Twitch at the moment. Yeah, no, I'm not. Just here. I could add a new target. I'm not going to be on long, hopefully. Well, that's the plan anyway. I always say that and then sit here for hours, but the plan's not to be on for too long. Oh, you're getting ads. Sorry, mate. I didn't think they'd put too many on. I put it on, like you can choose how much, and I put it on not often, but if you might get some at the start, and hopefully it doesn't come on for very much longer. I don't know how it works, mate. I don't really do many lives on here, and it's few and far in between when I do. And I can't see them. I've only got one single screen here. I nearly went and got another screen and set it up, and I went, that's going to be another hour. So just get on and have a chat. Oh, it's hard work, Finn, though. It's hard work, mate. No wonder you're tired. You're probably still tired from doing that. It's even picking them. I don't even like picking them. It's just not fun. There's no fun in it. It's a horrible job. And drying them's a real pain. Last time I went to use them, I dried them in the oven, and that was. I mean, it worked, but it takes hours and days. And you can only do so little batches at a time. And even when it comes to using them, I don't really like to use them in the brewery. They're okay, you know. I do sometimes. I keep buying them, and then they sit in the fridge. I reckon I've probably got 10-year-old. Although I threw a lot out, but I could go in the fridge now, and there'll be 3 or 4 packs of whole hops that have sat there for way too long. G'day, Stitch. It's public holiday here today. Not that it changes for me because I'm here all the time anyway. But especially in Australia, yeah, I don't normally go live at this time of day or whatever because everyone's at work and stuff, you know. But at least in Victoria, it's a public holiday today. Is that mic too loud? Okay. It's peeking out a bit. I'm only using the cam mic too, so I don't even know what it sounds like. G'day, mate. Good on ya. I missed that beer. I need to do another one. Ah, good. I'm doing a honey lager, I'm calling it. Weird. Oh, shit. I gotta watch. I'll knock out the cam from the computer in front of me. Yeah, with these in it. A kilo of those. Cool. And you'll have to wait for the video, but it's actually been a lot smoother brew day than I thought it was going to be. I did a glucanase rest. It's a cereal mash, yeah. I wasn't going to do a glucanase rest, but then because it's popped and puffed, you know, so it's probably all pre-gelatinized, but at the same time, there's a lot of it. And I was going to do one, and then I changed my mind. And then I was speaking to one of my brew teachers last night, just at the end of class, and I went, "Oh, what do you reckon?" As he goes, I started daydreaming through class, and I missed one of his questions. And at the end, I said, "Oh, sorry, mate, I'm daydreaming about this," because the packets were sitting in front of me. I was getting ready for brew day. He goes, no, do one. I went, all right. So I did it anyway, and actually it went really, really, really well. I did. Oh, yeah, stop it. And you stop it too, Finn. They probably can't see the chat. Oh, the chat should record. I could put it on the screen, but it's probably not needed. Chat. It's behind the cam. Yeah. But then again, it doesn't look like the chat's coming through anyway. It's disconnected. That's probably it's set up for Twitch. Doesn't matter. Innocent bystander, how are you going? But no, it all went really, really well. I did a 45 degree step for the glucanase. You know, some might call it a protein rest, but it wasn't. It wasn't really what I was doing it for. But 65 mash of 61 kilo of oats, 1 kilo of wheat. That's a lot of kilo of wheat. Is that what size batch is that, mate? Because you know what they're saying that too much flake stuff works against a hazy beer. Believe it or not. A double batch, yeah, that's okay. I've been brewing a couple of hazies lately using this tritordium. I don't know how easy it is to get yet. It should be around. And it's been making full-on hazy beers, man, like not dropping clear. I haven't even been dry hopping during active ferment or anything like that. And again, that was that thing that I learnt from what's his guts that wrote the hop book, even though the hop book was kind of before they found out the new information. G'day, Cloppy. Yeah, breakfast beer. There's another one. Everyone's a comedian today. But it's been super hazy. It's a hop that there'll be videos coming out about it very shortly. So you've probably heard me talk about it somewhere a few times. The bag's sitting next to me, but there's no point looking at a bag. It's a hybrid between barley and wheat that Bort Malt started doing, and Bort Malt bought Joe White, so you can get it through Joe White in Australia, like, the same channels. And it's been making really hazy beers without trying. Been a bit of a pain to work with. I had 300 ml in this, and this is the first time I've done a glucanase rest on it though. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, I have made a lager with it, 50-50 lager, like wheat and a ale malt, and it had it's got a slight haze, but only slight. But I've used it with the high voltage yeast from England. I should say Ireland, wherever it's from. And I wouldn't use that again. And I've used it with that Pomona. I probably wouldn't use Pomona again either, really. Pomona or whatever it's called. But they're both extremely hazy. The high voltage yeast is some sort of quike. They don't tell you what sort it is. They don't even have quike on the packet. That's why I bought it. If I had noticed that, I wouldn't have bought it. It's more hazy than the Pomona or whatever that new one's called. But that new one's so peachy. I don't really like peach. So if you like, there'll be a video about that soon too. If you like peach in your beer, like, they're really soft IPAs, you'll like it. But I don't like it. I actually am doing a beer advent calendar series again this year, Stitch. I wasn't going to. And the wife offered to buy me one a few months back because she owns shares in a brewery, the wife. Not many shares, like 2 something, but so she doesn't mind buying me beer through them. And it's Bridge Road. And they brought out their original can vent this year, but it was only Bridge Road beers. And I love Bridge Road beers, but when you're buying from one brewery and you're getting 25 different ones, there's going to be a ton of sours in there and a ton of stouts and porters and stuff that I don't want to be drinking in summer. Like, the sours, I'll have a couple. But, I don't care. I don't know why they put them in can vents. I know some of you beer nerds will love it. Oh, look, I got a triple fucking stout. But for me, I don't want to be drinking a triple stout. I hardly drink them anyway, but I like them, but I just don't drink many of them. I don't want to be drinking them in summer. So I actually denied it. I said, no, don't worry about it, love. And then they brought out another one. You can actually buy it through Dan Murphy's too if you want to, which is Bridge Road are fiercely independent, but they still use Dan Murphy's as a distributor. And it's one of the ones where it's a whole bunch of breweries, but it's put together by Bridge Road, but it's got, Mountain Culture and Kaiju and all those in it. So, fucking mess. They all taste the same, the rest. That's why people put chocolate and stuff in them to try and make them taste different. It's like Belgians. They all taste the same. So I've got it. It's actually in the fridge just here. Turned up the other day. Oh, I didn't finish the story. Yeah, so I'd said no to the wife, and then last Wednesday she had to go out to a school concert thing, and I was home with the other kid by myself. So sometimes, I don't drink much during the week anymore, and sometimes when, my wife's out for the night, I'll have a couple of drinks. And I was just happened to be distilling, which reminds me, I am filtering. You can't really see it. Oh, yes, you can. It's right. It looks right there, the silver thing in the vice. I am filtering some food safe sanitizer at the moment, and I was distilling it the other day. So I thought, I haven't tasted my spirits, my food safe sanitizer, for a few months now. So I went, I had a sip of that bottle, sip of that bottle, sip of that bottle, sip of, 3 or 4 different rums and a bourbon or whatever it is, and my moonshine and everything else. And then I went, that one I've aged on charred oaks tasted pretty good. So I made a drink of it. I don't know how much I put in, 60 mil or something. I don't know what it was. Had that, and I had one more. I didn't realize I hadn't eaten dinner and stuff, and I got a bit pissed. And it's all like I wasn't blind, but I was pretty happy. And when I get happy like that, especially when the wife isn't around, listening to music and doing stuff, and I just don't lose the remember a little bit. And as I wasn't totally blind or anything, I was just having a good time. And I'd been looking at their new case, right? And then the next minute, I wake up in the morning and I get a message on my phone. Oh, your can vent's going to be delivered tomorrow. And I went, I didn't think I'd actually ordered it. I knew I had it in the basket. I was going to wait till the wife got home. I used her card and everything because I can't afford it. But she hasn't said anything yet. But it's in the fridge. So yes, I have one. Haven't looked in it or anything. Bent Spoke, Deep South, Found, Grifter, Heads of Noosa, Hop Nation, Keju, Molly Rose, Mountain Culture, Sailor's Grave, Shapeshifter, Range. It's only a 24 beer one, but have you noticed after all that whinging I did that they said they should be 25 beers? A lot of them have started doing 25 beers lately. But what I was thinking, instead of I'll do them on the day or whatever, but I'll upload them on the next day. So maybe like the first one on day 2, so people don't get the shits if they accidentally see it, and then I ruin, their surprise. So yeah, I would start at 1, but upload it maybe on the second day or midnight or something on the first day. But anyway, so I do have one this year. Actually, I should leave that out because I'll pour one of these beers. Oh, and my numbers were up. My numbers were up on this beer. I was expecting them to be down. Not many, just a couple of points, but so everything worked really well. G'day, Goose. How you going, you bloody legend? Anyone doesn't know Goose? He's a bloody legend. Anyone that's on my live streams on Saturday nights knows Goose. Bloody legend. I'm not on Twitch, sorry, mate. We can't do all your fancy effects here, I don't think. No, we can't. I don't think any of the effects. Yeah, I can't even access them here. But yeah, today I wasn't expecting them to go smoothly, but it went really well. I should have. It's not over yet. Not over. I could spill it all over the ground. But so far, so good. Oh, it's getting close to... I might just make sure I've got my yeast nutrient. And have I got some PVPV? Yes, I have. PVPPP. And I've got back to my workflock tablets because my other granulated workflock ran out. That's all I need. Oh, in my mixing jar thing. Mixing jar. Spoon. Set. All set. I haven't got anything to put the cube on. How many crates are busy? Maybe a bucket. Just let me redo this. That's pretty good. Yeah, can you see what I was doing? It's not very exciting. The light was in the way. It's just a stainless steel, bit of stainless steel pipe. And that's full of charcoal. And that's just use it like a funnel. And a little tap on the end to slow the drip down. I did have a hose on it, but it wasn't the right length for this one. So just took the hose off and dripping through some filters into a jar. I don't know if you can see down that far. Kind of. See the filters. Just filter it a couple of times. You can get them either through Dan Murphy's. $129, I think. My wife says tell them I sent you. Nah, you get them through Dan Murphy's. Unless you live near Bridge Road. I don't think Bridge Road are delivering them. I don't know. It didn't look like they were, but they might. Bridge Road do deliver their other stuff and have their monthly or 3-monthly can club, which isn't too bad if you like Bridge Road beers. But right, so everything's ready. Just nothing that's urgent, this stuff, but I do want it to clear up a bit. Who wants a cloudy lager? I mean, I'm expecting it to have a haze because it's all wheat. You know, there's a kilo of wheat and 300 grams of tritodium in it, so there's going to be a haze to it. But I'm going to try and clear it. I hit it with some biofine and stuff, but you know, I can do so much. I'll probably use Nova Lager. I don't know if I mentioned, I'm going to no chill it because it's just easy. And it's only a 60 min hop edition, so there's nothing, I don't have to adjust anything and just put it in the cube and pitch it tomorrow. I take it easy, Finn. Good to see you. Oh, I love a clear beer, Cloppy. They taste better, mate. Oh, someone's making noise over there. I'm just brewing a honey lager. There's a few twists and turns in it, but calling it a honey lager, a honey popper lager, because it's got Woolworths honey poppers in it. Drinking okay, Cloppy? Wouldn't mind one myself. I've still got some in a juicy banger in a keg in the fridge, but it's all behind this other shit, but I can get to it still. Nice, nice. Oh, g'day, Greenzo. You've got something going on over there, have you? I try to ignore it all. There's too many people here already that got their knickers in and on about it. I don't know if they say that term in America, but you know, carrying on about it. It's just fuck, I don't care. Not my president. Or presidentess. No, I don't even. Is a female still a president? I guess they are. I don't know. Look, I'm old. I try to ignore politics. Unless they come knocking on my door like our lockdown leader did, then I don't really give a stuff. A tropic plunder? What the hell is a tropic plunder? We are boiling away. I know you can't see it. Session pale ale. Fair enough. So they plundered the alcohol on you, did they? Not nice. How's the fields going, Cloppy? Cloppy's nice. Cloppy's Yeah, it's not. That's not good for you. It's out of your control. So not worth worrying about. What was I going to say? I started saying it now. I forgot. Kind of been very important. So yeah, I've been meaning to brew for. I've got 2 to do this week. This one and the next brewery series one. I've got all the stuff to do it. The over there. This one. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Hoppy. Hoppy's the legend that harvests grain and stuff like that. Not always our brewing grain, but lentils and things like that, don't you? Hot Hoppy, all sorts of stuff. So he's one of the farmer legends. This is the one we're brewing. A lot of people probably haven't tried it unless they've been down this way. And it's not going to focus. But that's the one we're brewing. It's New Zealand hops because Raglan's a place in New Zealand apparently where they go surfing. Even though it's an Australian brewery, I don't quite get it. But they use New Zealand hops in this one, so that's probably why they called it. And it's a hazy, and it's pretty big though. I was drinking them and thinking, why am I getting so pissed? And because I was thinking it was like a pale ale, but it's 6.5 or something like that. See it on there now. It's typical Melbourne. Yesterday it was cold. I had a jumper on out here yesterday. And then as soon as we have an event on and everyone's looking from around the country, they see nice weather down here for the cup. Happened for the grand final too. The weather was shit and raining. And then for the grand final, clears up. Although tomorrow's supposed to be hot. But that means it's probably going to be too windy or there'll be something going on. Still can't tell if I like Eclipse. I just don't know. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't. Should get one of my beers, shouldn't I? Have I got time before I have to put everything in? Let's say 4:08. Oh, there's still. I'll pour a quick one before. I won't move the camera. Only just over here. Oh, I turned the fridge on before and stopped the fan. I forgot to turn it back on. It'll be a little bit warm. I did that last time with hazy beer, and for whatever reason, it dropped clear. Like I left the keg warmed up just for like half a day or something. It wasn't my beer; it was a first wort kit. But for whatever reason, just that day it being warm, it dropped clear. Kind of like it was chill haze, but then it never came back. Weird. That was a terrible pour. Probably foaming up because it's so bloody warm. I don't know if you can hear me then or not. There it is. That's one brewed with some tritordium in them. I think it was made probably half and half. Tritordium, I don't remember. I've done 3 beers with it now. But this is the Pomona yeast. It's not quite as hazy as the high voltage yeast I used. I can't deal with the peach. So, but I mean, a lot of people love peach, as I said before, peach and apricot type. I call it furry fruit. I don't like furry fruit. It's got nothing to do with the fur. It's just I don't like the, as a kid, we used to eat it every night, peaches, canned peaches and pears, and there was also fucking apricot chicken and all that. Oh, says the time I got to put the, and I got so sick of apricot chicken that I can't, apricot and peach just doesn't do it for me anymore. Yeah, it's quite a nice beer. It always looks, when I drink it on my streams in my casting room, my streaming room, it always looks brown with all the red lights, but it's not brown. I'm going to turn that chat thing off because it's making half the screen a different colour. All right, hang on. I just got to put this stuff in. Oh, I've got to film it too. It's all right. Oh, I don't have to. Each nutrient. I only really do this, not so much. Bloody hell, splashed all over the keyboard. This isn't to dissolve the yeast nutrient or the wort flock, it's to dissolve the PVPP, which I don't really want to be putting into my beer, so I'll move that over. Because this stuff is extremely, it's like corn flour. And I'll chuck in a wort flock. Probably only need a half, but I'm a bit lazy today. Hang on. I've talked about it before here. The reason you do that with the PVPP or Clarity Firm or anything like that, if you've got the powdered Clarity Firm, that's probably not the right one. What's it called? Clarity Firm. That's the other one. Whatever. Anyway, it let's see how quiet on this. It goes like a gel, and so what can happen is if you just throw it in the top, it can just sort of roll around and it sticks to the side of your kettle, and you can empty your kettle later and go, oh, there's half of the PVPP. So it's good to dissolve it in some liquid first and whack it in. And I mean, depending how fierce your boil is, it's probably good to do that with lots of stuff just to make sure that it doesn't get thrown out of the boil and stick to the side of your kettle. But yeah, for PVPP especially, it's just a good thing to do. What is everyone? It's a Tuesday. It just feels like a weekend here because the kids because there's a public holiday here in Melbourne today for the Melbourne Cup for a fucking horse race. But anyway, most of the schools, of course, have the Monday off as well, so it's like a long weekend. Well, it is a long weekend. But the wife had to work yesterday, but she's got today off. Yeah, I've got to just, all I've got to do out here, the next thing to do out here, I've got to finish modding the glycol. I've already done 2 mods on it, but there's another one I want to do. And I've got to put on the new glycol lines I've got. If they're just insulated ones, the ones I've been using for the last year or two, whatever it's been, haven't been insulated, which doesn't really matter, except they just get a lot of condensation on them. Because it's in the garage out here, I don't care. It just goes on the ground. But I'm just going to set it up a bit better. Try and get that video out this week. The next 3 videos are dragging on, but yeah, I was crook for 2 weeks. So I was supposed to get them all out in a quick amount of time, but I couldn't talk. They might have been better without me talking bullshit over the top, but my voice has only come back. But they're a great unit. I know they're expensive. I couldn't afford to buy one. But lasts forever. I still kind of think I really like the V2, but then again, there's good and bad on it. It's a thing, isn't it? It's like the Robo Brews and that they keep upgrading them with upgrades. Well, most of them aren't upgrades. Like a sight glass to me isn't an upgrade. It means more cleaning. It's a fucking backgrade. But I get it why people want it, And when they change the clamps, I like the original clamp because you can twist it without the clips coming undone. But anyway, we all like different stuff, eh? But this is look, it's a nice beer, but it's too peachy and apricot-y for me. It's just not my style. I like citrus. And although citrus seems to be tacked onto everything at the moment, every hop that comes out is peachy and soft fruit and citrusy and bloody plum or whatever it is. They can't be all things, But they seem to try to tell you that they are these days. G'day, Burnsy. How you going? This is too peachy. I don't think the yeast performed well. It was fast. Yeast are so fast these days. I don't even know why anyone needs to use quike unless you haven't got temperature control. But if you pitch the right amount of yeast, it's just so fast these days. All these new hybrids. Most yeasts are hybrids anyway, but that's how they're selling them as hybrids. Marketing. Things like the Nova Lager, But still, English yeast was always fast. If you pitch enough of it, do it warm enough, it's always been fast. Bang, bashes through. You got to watch it doesn't get away from you and you end up with all that apple crappy flavour. But most things with home brewers is they don't pitch enough. They're still on that old school thing of 1 packet under 1050 or whatever. And especially in Australia, as we brew 6-gallon batches, that rule is wrong. Yes, you'll still be able to ferment a beer. Yes, it'll still, eventually you'll still get a beer. But if your beers are taking 2 weeks to ferment, there's something, it's just not right. Tell you what, if you ever opened up a brewery yourself, you wouldn't want your beers to be taking 2 weeks to get to final gravity. Jesus, you'd go broke. Not all your beers. You might have a couple of them. Yeah, it is expensive. It is, and I don't harvest and things either because I don't take that risk of at home. If I had a lab in a brewery or whatever, I'd think about it. But there's not even many breweries that even do that. To be honest, it's just takes out a whole chance of things going wrong. A whole, you nearly need a person dedicated to lab work, yeast counts, propagation, upscaling. You can't leave it in the fridge. You can't leave it in the fridge 10 days. Like, even like all the courses I've done, like, don't. Yeah, it's like 14 days is the absolute maximum that you'd want to leave a yeast just in the fridge. Because the die off is just so huge. And the mutation and stuff. So if you do the yeast thing, you've got to do it right. You can get away with it being sloppy. I know a lot of people that do. When I say sloppy, they'll just grab a bit of yeast and put it in a jar and put it in the fridge. I've done it in the past. When I was on extract beers, I didn't care. I had the chance to risk it. But now all grain, plus, the channel, I don't want things to go wrong. I don't brew that much beer to be able to throw although I'm probably going to tip out this, no, not this one, probably the high voltage beer. I just can't stand it, but the quike. But you've got to, it's just, I know a lot of people do it. And as I said, I did it with extract, but I wouldn't, not now that with all grain where it takes you a day to brew or whatever. This has been a very short day today, even with a long mash. But, it's only 3 minutes to go. I didn't set an alarm too. Lucky I had to look. It's just not, I don't even want to stuff around, making multi-step starters and things like that, Especially if you're harvesting yeast, your own, and keeping it, you've got to be doing those proper size starters and feeding up your yeast, and otherwise it's just, you're taking a risk every brew. Yeah, well, if you like the flavour, Steve, I don't particularly like it. The only time I don't mind it is when it's in a beer with a heap of citra hops. It seems to, it still gets that tang to it. But some people obviously don't taste it because they say some, quike is clean, but I don't get clean ever from any quike, no matter what I do with it. So, yeah. I mean, this yeast was done in 3 days. I still gave it longer, but it was 3 days. That was the Pomona. The Nova Lager's done in about 3 days. Like, it's not the speed thing for me, right? I don't need to use quike for speed. If you pitch enough yeast of a good yeast, you'll do that with a normal ale yeast. The quike, I would only use quike if I didn't have temperature control. That's the only reason I would use it. But a lot of people love it. Don't get me wrong. I can't stand the taste of them. I get the dustiness and the tang that some people call it orange peel, but it is like orange peel. But it's like you're squeezing the orange peel, sucking on that that sour citrusy. It's not even sour. It's probably not the right word, but whatever it is. And I've got a beer in there with it in now. And the same thing. It's the same beer as this, just a different yeast. I got to get this beer in. Beer bin. All right. Lights on the set. Keep rolling. This is gonna not work. All right, that's it. I've been a bit slack with the tube. I don't usually have it hanging in the boil. It's got a big lump on the end of it. How long it is? Can you see that? Oh, it doesn't look that big where you are. Like it's got a knuckle. and the growth. Won't worry too much, but I'm going to use this hose to bloody transfer it. It's like when I was 20, woke up in the morning after a Friday night out. Cut that out. It always goes there. I forget I'm on YouTube and not on Twitch today. What was I going to use? A bucket. I put that bucket before. Yeah. Watch me drop the camera into this word. It's loose too. It's going to. Where's it loose? I'll just let that settle out a bit though. No rush on this. Yeah. I've sold a lot too, but that's the X3. That's the X2. And that's one of the old. I'm selling that one. That's the old one of the old. That's the first original Cheeky Peak version 1. Selling that one. And I got 2 Cheeky Peak version 2s here, and they're getting sold too. So I'm only keeping the 2 brew builts because I sold my other brew builts. I had a brew built version 1, like a 5-6 gallon one, like a 23 litre batch one. And I also had a 50 litre one. And I sold them when I got the Cheeky Peak ones, but I don't like the Cheeky Peak ones, so they've got to go. And I went, shit, now I've sold my best equipment. So then I was lucky at being able to get the 2 brew builts, and now I can sell the other Cheeky Peak stuff. If anyone's interested, that whole Cheeky Peak system's going. It's $2,000 at the moment with that whole setup, except for the glycol's not on there because I never got the glycol. It was about $7,000 worth. I've got it for 2 at the moment, plus an extra fermenter. You know, and those fermenters are nearly $1,000 or whatever it is with all the gear on it, with all the fittings. They're easy $1,000. So $2,000, and you get 3 fermenters, a whatever litre pot that is, the Boss controller, big pump, the stainless steel bench it's all on. Whatever came with that setup, it's all going. Just taking up room here, and it's too much space. It's got to go. But what I am doing, since I've only advertised in one little place, like a local place, and I got one bite from a guy in Penrith, but kept asking too many questions, and I got sick of answering them. So it's a bargain. I had it for 2.5. I took 500. I said, all right, for 2, man, just come and get it and take it. It was and stuff, and I went, no. So what I'm going to do though, because I didn't like the brew setup either, I'm going to put a rims setup on it, but then the price goes up because it'll be shit hot. So then I can raise the price again, probably to 3, and it'll still be a massive bargain, but it's got to go. At the moment, it's 2. But, if someone asks nicely and comes and gets it, there are deals to be done. 2 pressure fermenters, 1 that could be a pressure fermenter, but I haven't got the band for it. And it's got clips, and so, it can still be used under probably 1 PSI or something. But it's still a stainless conical, same fucking thing. It just hasn't got the locking rings. It's full stainless fermenter. They've all got chilling coils in them. All got PRVs and another double PRVs and bubble fucking things. Bubblers on them if you want them to use them. A PRV with where you put all the taps and see-through fitting things, the sight glass type taps. What else does it come with? Heaps of shit. I just don't use it, so. I love the X3, man. Except the only trouble I've had with it, I know probably people see things in my video. The only trouble I had was the silicon seals that came with it. And the only other thing, I don't know if you've seen the last video, but if you want to lift this one in and out of the fridge when it's full, you're going to be really, really struggling. So you want glycol, and plus it's jacketed anyway. Once they get jacketed, yes, you can still use them in the fridge. I used to use the V2 in the fridge, and it's jacketed and not bothered about using it. But yeah, the X3, I could still lift the X2 full and put it in, but it was getting pretty bloody heavy. But the X3 is, with all the fittings on it like I've got there now, is 27 kilo without the beer in it. So, you know, you're looking at 50 kilo. If you want to try and lift that in out of a fridge and get it around the brewery, it's heavy, man. It's heavy. And it's not even such a weight. Yeah, I can lift 50. All right. Yeah, I can best punch 90. But yeah, it's a total different thing, man. You know, there's no handles. The handles on most of them went out on version 1, I think, because of the jacket. So it's awkward if you were trying to lift it. Very awkward. You sort of got to hug it or pick it up by the legs. But besides that, no, they're beautiful. They're beautiful, man. They're the best finished ones I've seen. All the other ones I've looked at, nothing on what the Brew. But so I've always said that, though. You can go through all my old videos, and I've said that from the start. They're just a mirror finish. They're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You couldn't really ask for much more. I preferred the older lids than the 8-inch tri-clamp thing, but again, that's what people wanted, right? What people wanted, so they got it. I always say, careful what you wish for. But now I've used other seals. I've got another new one there that's in it now, which is a PTFE one. It's a hard one, a white hard one. That's fitted okay. I bought another type of black one, but it was small again. But it was from that Oak Stills place that originally sent me the one that was too small too. So I don't know if that's just them. But yeah, so I've got 2 seals that work really well with it, and there's no trouble at all. Just whack it on and it goes. Yeah, and the only other thing that came with it, which will be in another video coming up, is I used to just fill them up. But because of these locking rings that every brand used, right, they can be tricky. But once you got them on and sealed, I was much happier to leave them on. So I'd fill it up with I'll fill it up with 4 or 5 litres of sanitizer in them, get the lid on, get everything on, make sure they were sealed, make sure, everything was sealed. And then I'd just fill through one of the ports in the top. And then you didn't have to worry. Because there's nothing worse than when something's full of, especially at the end of a brew day, when there's something full of wort and you're trying to get the lid to seal and you're buggerizing around. Like my, the original Cheeky Peak one was fiddly, but there's a spot that I put it. And I know that I put it this way up. I've got it written on the little ring, this way up, and it doesn't have to be exact spot, but this way up, this bit to the front, that bit to the back, and screw it up, and 99.9% of the time it's sealed. But then once it's on, I I don't want to fuck around with it, as I said before. So then I feel through a port. So what would happen, I'd fill it up with sanitizer, get that lid on, make sure everything was sealed with the sanitizer in it, run it through all the lines and stuff with pressure. And then I'd tip it upside down into a bucket to empty it, hold it upside down. And they're quite heavy, but, And I used to do that with the X2 as well. But now with the X3, they're too bloody heavy to be doing that. So I've had to come up with something else, and that will be in the video. It's quite simple, but something I haven't had to do before. So I empty it through the bottom. The reason I haven't emptied them through the bottom before is because when you're trying to get, again, fiddly tri-clamps, and when they're in an awkward position, everyone wants tri-clamps. When people haven't got tri-clamps, they want tri-clamps. It's another thing. Careful what you wish for. Because they're fiddly, man. They're fiddly. And if anyone says they can do a tri-clamp up perfectly every time, they're a fucking liar. Right? They're awkward. You've got to be... You can get good at them. I'm pretty good at them now too, but it can be awkward. And so especially when you got it at the bottom of a fermenter and you're trying to get this jar on the bottom, they've been a pain. So that's why I just went and stuffed this. I just tip it upside down, empty it. But nowadays I've got to do it down the bottom. But the X3 gives you plenty of room, which is awesome. And actually, for the video the other day, I did it straight away, but I empty it. What I do is that time thing's in the way there. I can turn that off. And it's pretty simple. There's just I've put a valve on the bottom of the, you can see it there, the little yellow cap. And so when the sanitizer's in there, you've got to have 4 or 5 litres in a, well, I find it much easier. In all my Fermzillas, everything, say the floating dip tubes floating in the right spot, and, everything gets sanitized easy. You could probably get away with 2 or 3 litres, but I just do, my jug holds 4, and it's the 6 mil into 4 litres of Stellar Sand. It just works. Yeah, and then so I empty it through the, just hook up an empty line to the thing down there until it's all emptied out, and just a little bit left in the jar, and then I can take the jar off then and empty it. Because if you try and, when it's got 3 or 4 litres in and you try and take the jar off and empty it down the bottom, you make a mess, right? Shit goes everywhere. And because Starsense makes bubbles, bubbles and fucking shit. So it's not hard, and it's not rocket science or anything, but it's just I've had to do something different. And that happens every time you buy a different sort of fermenter. There's something different you've got to do and learn. But everyone should know that there's none of these, well, any brand that I've tried so far, there's none of this fermenting at 30 psi stuff. I always found that ridiculous, and just a fucking clickbait for videos. There's a few YouTubers that do it all the time. I fermented this at 30 psi. It's just stupid. One mistake or one stuff up from either you or equipment, and boom, or you're copping a broken nose. It's stupid. But sorry if anyone does it and you've been doing it a long time. I think it's stupid. So that most of everyone I haven't had one that says to use over 15 psi of this, or full stainless vessel, full commercial quality PRVs and all that sort of stuff. And for the stainless, you need the reverse PRV too, because you need it to be able to let air in if it has to, because you don't want it imploding. It doesn't matter. I've had my Fermzilla implode a couple of times just from crash chilling where I thought I had enough pressure in it, and I've come in like that. But if that happens with your stainless, you're fucked. It's stuffed. So there is these big... not one near me, but they're big, solid-looking things. They're expensive too, but I think that comes with it. And so people don't go, "Oh, it's expensive," but go and buy the fittings, just the fittings separately. The valve and the two-way PRV and the pressure gauge, the proper stainless pressure gauges. That's where most of the money is. Bloody expensive. That's put all those together, and it's probably more than the body's worth. But no, it's brilliant. As I said, too many ports, probably. I could have easily got rid of 2 or 3 ports and still been very happy, but it is what it is. Some people might want them. I love the splayed legs, as I've said in my, I don't know if you've seen the last video. It makes it so more stable. I should transfer this beer soon. Even this Nano X on legs, even empty, but just like that, just pushing that empty, it nearly fell over, right? That doesn't happen anymore with the splayed legs. I never had this one on wheels. But again, they get quite top heavy. And this one here with the wheels now and the splayed legs, doesn't happen. So this one here, I've never had it fall over, but especially when it's full and it's really top heavy, it makes you got to stay aware. But I mean, that's with most things in the brewery. You got to keep your switched on, or you're going to burn yourself, or get some sort of chemical on you that you shouldn't have. But this one I've used that one dozens of times. That's fine. Except, as I said, I've just got to have this thing, when I put it on, joiner's got to be over here. That's all I know. And that way, it probably works in other positions, but I found it, one day I did it up and it sealed straight away, and then I went, oh, and then next time I went to use it, there's a little bit of a leak, and I went, and put it back to where it was that day. I went, oh, there you go. So, and as I said, it's not exact. It doesn't matter if it's not millimeter perfect or anything. It's just I know if I put it on the left hand side at the front with that side up, it works. And that's not all the different. Oh, my screen's going to turn off. All the different brands use those, right? The locking ring things, and it's stuff. And I'm pretty sure that they're not made, from what I hear from manufacturers and talking to people, they're not made in the same factory. It's like they buy them separately. Well, that's the sort of the word I got from Cheeky Peak, and so they come in as a separate item. So it's not like they're factory tested, or they probably are at some stage, but so a lot of people are having problems with them. But that's with all brands. But I haven't. Only the Cheeky Peak version 2, I did. One of them I did. That's why I have to change it. But then I looked at the ring, and the ring's bent. Like they're in 4 or 3 arcs that sort of squish the lids together. And one of the arcs on one of the Cheeky Peak ones is too bent, like it doesn't fit the circle of the ring, and there's nothing. I got it in the vise and tried to bend it, and it's spring steel welded to, I think, more different spring steel, and it's as tough as nails. So that's why I got 3 fermenters here. 2 are pressure fermenters. One is it's still got the same lid, but without the ring. It's got the clips that hold it down. And so it's airtight, easy airtight. But yeah, I can't be bothered getting one. Probably get this one off. The things I'm talking about are these. Jesus, I'm going to start knocking things over. Oh, hiss. See? Oh, that's a good sign. That was a hiss from undoing that. That means that has held pressure for months, because I haven't had this up for months. That's one of the ones I'm selling. Did you hear that hiss? I heard it. These things. And they're like a U channel on the inside, which squeezes the lid and the lip on the lid and the lip on the fermenter together, and you have some sort of locking device, and you screw it up, and that makes it tight and squashes the 2 lids together. And what can happen with some of them is these inside bits are too long. So what you can do Did I do it with this one? No, I didn't. You can cut that bit off. Like I can cut inches off that just to make it, cinch up tighter if you need to. And as I said, I think all these were, at least I know the Cheeky Pete ones were bought separately from the fermenters, right? So if they came a little bit out of spec, then that's what you'd have to do, cut a little bit off. I did do it on one of them, I thought. Maybe it was on that Brew bit one. One of them I cut a little bit off just to see how it went. This one doesn't look like it's been cut. That means it worked without having to do anything. But these they copied off Brew built. They originally had a different style, which is the same thing, but this bit was different. Just slightly. It didn't have this lip thing. It had a... I have to go into details. But so when Cheeky Pete bought out version 2, they sort of copied or bought the ones that Brew built were using because these were much better. The original Cheeky Pete ones, even though it worked for me, you'd have to undo it so much that this would pop out and then you'd drop it on the floor and get shit and then you'd have to hold it and get it back. But it worked. It still worked. And that's what when they'd moved and changed to this sort of drop-down locking thing that worked heaps better. Except that I think they had huge problems with. Sometimes they just they didn't seal on their new fermenters.
Hey.
But this one works on that fermenter, and that one works on that fermenter, and the other ones I'm selling. So that's all that really matters. I don't care about anybody. Well, I don't want anyone to get ripped off or anything, but it's not. Equipment tour. Well, there's not really that much to show, man. Things up the back that are shiny, they're still my old original Robo Brew version 1, which I'm going to do I've got to get this beer in the thing. I'm going to do a comparison between the Brewzilla 4 and the Robo Brew 1. And the Robo Brew 2, I was going to sell it, but I dropped it and dented it, and I didn't want to sell it to anybody. So it's the 4 Robo Brews, or 2 Robo Brews and 2 Brewzillas. One's my backup, just in case something goes wrong or I need it for a HLT. And they're 1 and 2, then no one's going to want to buy them. And I dropped it and stuff, as I said, but that's the shiny things at the back. And then there's only really that I'm selling, my 2 Brew Builts I'm keeping, and this other thing I'll show you in a minute. That's it. Oh, besides my stills that... I'll turn this camera on. Pain in the ass. Excuse the stuff that gets cut out of my videos. Fucking pain in the ass. The lighting in here, if the sun comes in here a bit, it throws the lighting out of the camera. And see, that's too hard. The white of the cube's too bright, but the wort's too dark. It's just going to have to... All right, let's get this in the cube, and then we're done. I haven't run this pump for ages too. I wouldn't be surprised if it's got an airlock in it or the wheat gun. There's so much wheat in it. It's fine. Turn it off. I'll mention I might not make the official video, but it'll be on the Patreon video. I'm one of the beta testers for the software, like the wrap software. So my software on this one is different to what most people have. It has the updates and things. But Store's dog, that always makes recording so much fun. And the problem is, for this one, they did what Grainfather did, and it's again what people wish for. Stop wishing for things, people. It was great as it was, but what people do is they want to use the programming all the time, right, and not be so manual. And the trouble is, when your manual, when the computer is operating your pump, if something goes wrong and you want to stop that pump, you should be able to just stop it. Grandfather one, you could stop it. But if time went by 5-10 minutes to your next step or something, the pump would come back on. And so if you had, say you had your recirc arm off or you were burnt or something, next minute there's hot wort squirting everywhere. And at the moment, for some reason, they're going to change it. But for their new one, they're trying to, because everyone wants automation for some reason. And at the moment, for this one, I've got to stop the pump, and it doesn't stop it straight away. It puts it in another sort of system, so I've got to press it twice to stop the pump, and that's really, really dangerous. But if you've accidentally got something spurting out of there and you need to stop it, you need to stop it. It has to stop. You don't want I think when I first press it, it says, it's now your pump's now in the being run by the program or whatever, the profile or whatever it is. And that's really bad. It's dangerous, stupid. And it's programmers and people that don't brew much and aren't, they might be in a setup in a corner of a shop under a really, they're thinking all the time. They're there, in a certain situation, but they're selling this to people that things to home brewers, and when you want a pump to stop, there could be spurting hot wort in the air or over your kid or your dog. You need it to stop straight away. If you want fully automatic beer, go and buy a fucking slab from Dan Murphy's or something. You know what I mean? It's. I get it. Like I get it. I get why people want to do it, but it's fraught with danger, and not just danger. There's things, if you get a blockage, it'd have to have what I'd want it to have if I was going to walk away. I'd want it to have like a cistern switch off, like they have on your HLTs when you're filling them, that switch them off. I don't have one, but some people do. Because if the pump's going and you're not getting enough flow, you're going to overflow, you're going to get grain, it's going to be dry down the bottom, you might get scorching, the elements might turn off and get too hot. The whole automation thing's shit. Unless you go full bore with the automation, have all those sort of safety things. And then the price goes up, and then everyone whinges. Oh, the price has gone up. Yeah, well, if you don't like brewing, don't fucking brew. Buy some first wort kits. That sounds a bit rude, doesn't it? I don't mean to be rude, but it's just being honest. Can't really turn my back on this. The minute I do, it'll be full. Can't really see, but I'm just filling up the no-chill cube. There, beautiful thing. That's what I reckon, J-Man. Oh, g'day, J-Man. How are you? Not in use at the moment. I have used it, of course. It's ready to go. This isn't going in it. I'm no-chilling this. This is going in the Fermzilla, which is sitting at the back there. I'm brewing again later in the week, and my brewery series one's going in the brew bill. Raglan Haze. So I should take some. Excuse me. I need a cameraman and an editor like all these fancy channels have. Eh? But then I'd be just fucking nothing but selling shit like all those do as well. Everything's perfect. Everything's perfect. This yeast is the best yeast ever. You can tell all the people that sponsored by shops or own shops or have shares in shops because everything's perfect. Good on you, Granny. Oh, you're the Granny from YouTube. Oh, we were on YouTube now, but yeah, commented yesterday or something, or the other day, or today. Maybe it was today. It's very clear now. Very dark looking. It's not going to be dark in the glass though. Pretty dark. I think it's going to be a honey colour. I just can't quite see it, but I know I can't go down that low. Unfortunately. Keep an eye on this because it's going to always spill it. Shit, I haven't sanitized this cube. There's no point. Luxembourg ringing me. Why is Luxembourg ringing me? You can't ring now. Hello? Ah, they hung up. All the way from Luxembourg, apparently. Scary. Is it one to use? Or is it a scam? It could be someone watching, seeing if I'm actually. Oh, that's hot. I should have my fucking. Let me slow that down. Hot. Morning. Oh, I fucked it. Put an air bubble in it. Oh no, I bent it here. That's it. I thought I'd fucked it. Excuse my language. Got them on live on YouTube. Bending the bloody tube here, cutting it off. She's not bad. It's better than the valve. Gone all right, that. I didn't even empty the. I didn't whirlpool. I forgot to whirlpool. That was stupid. I forgot to center the tube cone. Yeah, it says pump will switch off on according to profile after you press it once. So you got to press it twice. So that's really stupid. They'll be changing that though. I've told them. If they don't, I'll be fucking complaining. Shit, that was my phone. All right, that's all the video footage I need. We'll do the ending afterwards. Right, you might be able to see that a bit better now. There's not much to see though. Just the funnel and the tube. Tap on there. Usually it's got this cord on there, but it just wasn't the right. I didn't want to cut it. So today, very technical. Get my finger over there and put it through again. It hasn't quite finished from last time, but just going into a mason jar through a coffee filter. Excuse me. Done. Except I've got to clean the oil kettle. I need to get a beer. G'day, Buster. That wasn't you ringing me. I know Norway isn't Luxembourg, but it's closer. Someone was trying to, or Luxembourg was trying to ring me, or from Luxembourg or something. I know that's not Norway. Is it? No. I don't know. I take it easy, J-Man. You're probably gone already. You're in Germany. That's Luxembourg. Sure. Someone was. I had my phone number hidden for a long time, but it's fucking everywhere now, probably. So. Out there. People are going to start looking there. Take it easy, J-Man. I'll go and show you how cloudy the quite the high voltage one is. I don't like drinking it. This one is, as you can see, if you can remember the last one, this one's much more opaque. The other one was opaque too, but not like this. And this one was brewed probably 2-3 weeks before the other one, maybe even 4 weeks. But it is keeping its haze. This was nearly all tritordium and a quike yeast. And that's what I don't like about it. It looks lovely. Every time I post it online, everyone goes, wow, look at that. I'm going to tip it out. I keep trying it and trying it. It's been, I don't know what it's been now. Month, 6 weeks since it's been in the keg. And it's just got that orange peel thing, that tang you can get from quike. I didn't, possibly could adjust the pH a little bit down to try and, a little bit up to try and make it taste better, but it's just not worth the effort. Yeah, I should check what the actual number was. I only saw the word. Phone doesn't let me in. Well, no, it's a strange number. I reckon someone was. It's not a number like I've seen before. It says +35. Where's that from? +35 220331484. +352. I shouldn't watch out. There's other people's numbers there. Oh, no, there isn't. That's just all junk. Whatever that. See that top? Oh, it's not going to focus. Come on, focus on me. Not going to focus. +352. Yeah, I mean, it's drinkable. You can drink it, right? And some people, I think, like that weird taste. I just think there's a lot of hops in this, and it's totally the quike's totally muted most of the aroma in the hops. It's just someone posted somewhere else I don't have it here. It's on my other computer, and I took a screenshot, and someone said something about quike of. I can't remember the first bit. The first bit was made the whole statement say a lot cooler than when I say it. But the end of the statement was, it was something like, you can use quike to make nearly all styles of beer, but there's always a better choice. It ended up with there's always a better choice, and it's just the truth. But if you have to, man, and even if you enjoy it, it's not up to me to tell you if you enjoy it or not. I know my mate brews them all the time, just around the corner. Dave uses it all the time. G'day, Ken. Oh, it is the country coil. Well, maybe it was someone's watching from Luxembourg. Who was it? It's the first time I've had a call from Luxembourg. I can only guess that it's from here. I know the Russians are after me, but that's not Luxembourg. The Russians might have still spotted their P gas thing over there. Didn't know the Germans were after me. Now I'm in fucking. Maybe it was someone from. Maybe it was someone from. What's the fucking? Excuse me, I just gotta stop swearing. What's those German brewing systems? They make fermenters too. Maybe it was them telling me that they got the best. What are they called? They make really, they're great. I can't afford them. Got their way out of my league. Brewmeisters. Maybe it's someone from, it might have been someone from Speedle too. Brewmeister. Might have been Brewmeister. I'm going to say, you haven't seen our fermenters. Ours are much better. We wear tight shorts and leather pants. But I don't know what I'm talking about. I'd like to try if Mr. Brewmeister is watching. I have met Mr. Brewmeister. He was out here for our Good Beer Week one year. And at Grain and Grape, they had their System Wars, and he was there. And I tried to hit him up quietly to G him up, but it was just a bit busy, one of those busy days. I probably didn't have the confidence. I think I was hungover. Oh, don't tell me that, John. I don't know geography. Luxembourg's not a country. Didn't you? They're all just states of Europe. They're all the same. Fucking hell. It's like England and Ireland. I mean, not Ireland. It's like England and Scotland. They're on the same bit of land, How can they be different countries? It's like America and that weird place up. All on the same land. We don't get it in Australia. We're on a huge bit of land and it's one country. It's just a different place, different state or something. I've just offended everybody. What I do. And they change them all the time. See, over there in Europe, change them every couple of years, 100 years, every war. They just change them. It confuses us, doesn't it, Goose? Even New Zealand confuses me. 2 islands. I'm not talking about. I've got to stop. I'm just getting myself in trouble with everybody. Do Luxembourg make fermenters? Maybe I haven't seen the Luxembourg. Maybe the Luxembourg is the best fermenter. I should go and buy a Luxembourg. This beer. The only thing that's killing me about tipping it out is the hops I put in. I didn't go stupid on the hops, but... And it just looks so good. It looks so good. You know what quike is in a beer like this? It's like when you've brushed your teeth and then you go and have a beer. You go, oh, fucking, it's kind of okay, but something's weird. The Maltzilla. I think that's what I use. I don't remember what it's called. I've had it for so long. I think I have a Maltzilla. Hang on, just so I can Google it. I think that's what I use. Yes, I do have a Maltzilla. And yes, my laziness has made me use it all the time. I still have my old 3-roller, which I looked at the other day, and I love using that. And I think it actually probably gives a better crush. But the ease of the Maltzilla, and I can just plug it in, put the grain in, and it works, wins out for me at the moment. It has its ups and downs, but once you learn it and once you got it set up right, it's really easy to measure the gap. I don't even change the gap now anyway, but yeah, that's what I use today. It's just sitting right there, next right there, not under this dangly thing. Right, here, there. So yeah, I know I use it. I use it nearly exclusively at the moment. Yeah. The Melbourne Cup, you know who did all right in the Melbourne Cup? I went and asked Jenna and Holly, my two daughters, 13 and 9. I said, what do you want to pick? Jenna picked number 11 and it won, and Holly picked number 4 and it comes second. Photo finish nearly. And I didn't put a Quinella on it, which was stupid. Because Jenna's horse fucking paid $80 or something. I had some on the one that came second. $1 and $1. I put $1 each way for the kids and $1 each way for me. It's a bit like, normally I don't give a shit, and I used to work at the Melbourne Cup. Well, I used to work at Fermenter. In the off season in winter, during winter, I used to work at Flemington, and it's a bastard of a time to work. I used to run the infield. Some years I ran the infield bit, which was kind of good because you're away from most of the crowd. Other years I ran, what other section did I run? I can't remember. I did another section during the day. A night shift. I've done a lot of night shifts at Melbourne Cup too to stay away from the crowd. I probably worked there for 6 or 7 years. So my last job was there. Like I was with an events company, but during the off season, during winter where there wasn't major events all the time, I was based at Flemington, so I was really good drinking buddies with the boss there. Me and him were going to start he was an ex-chef, so he was going to cook and I was going to make the beer, like a little cafe thing, nothing big. We were going to just get a shop near a train station somewhere, on a main line, and just open Thursday to Sunday. He'd be cooking food and pizza and shit, and I'd be just making little small batches of beer. And then he went and had a fucking stroke, didn't he? He's okay. He survived. It took him a long time to get better, but yeah, it caught all the plants. And we had kids. He had a stroke. Not sure what's worse. It's terrible. But no. Look, I was nearly even offered like a Brewzilla 100 at one stage, but I don't have friends. People don't come to my house and drink. We've got kids. No, it was a brew day beef. It's finished. Beef. So no, I don't want. There's no point of me doing. The only point of me doing 100-litre batches was to have people here to teach how to brew and to send them home with beer, and that's always been the plan, and is the plan again. But still, They'd have to give me one. I couldn't afford to buy one. Couldn't afford to buy one. There's no way. Faster? 100 litre wouldn't be faster. It'd be slower than anything. Anything? Is that what you mean? That wouldn't be faster. And I think I'd need to get proper three phase for the 100 litre. I've got 15 amp here. I'm not sure that would run the 100 litre. You live across the ditch. Yeah, so I'm only rental, man. We're renting. We dodgied up. Well, not dodgied up, but I had to get someone to do the 15 amp without having to go through all the fucking loops of the landlords and things. So three phase, I don't know if I could. I don't know if that'd be so easy. I was just very lucky because our fuse box or power board or whatever you call them these days, you don't call them fuse boxes anymore, but whatever they're called these days, is right on the back of this wall here. So we only had to run, and we had a power point directly behind it with a roller door. So all we did was we had to buy a meter, not even we could have got away with less than a meter of wire, put in a 32 amp. It didn't have to be 32 amp, but a bigger amp, in whatever they call them these days, instead of a breaker, like an NCD, and just swap out the power point for a 15 amp one. That was it. It was done in like 10 minutes. So, but the free phase they'll be different again. RCD, NCD, whatever it is. Yeah, and I sold my 50 litre, so I've only got, I could split it between three. But I mean, I wouldn't, there's no point with me brewing it really. And if I had students coming here, which is going to probably happen, I'd be sending them home with a cube rather than me fermenting it, because that's just a whole nother world of shit. I could show them what to do here. I could cube their beer, chill my side of it, put it in, I could do all that. It's pretty simple to do, but yeah. I mean, look. I mean, Keglade might come to the party. I wouldn't ask the other mob down here because they'd ask for too much from me. They might, but I don't really like asking for things, right? I don't go asking for things unless I really, really need it. I don't ask for things, so it's probably why I'm just still sitting in my garage. And I'm not sponsored. I've never done a paid review. I've never done a scripted review. Nothing like that. I've never done one. So your things are getting expensive. Like, really, the fermenters aren't that much more expensive. It's the brew gear that's a lot more expensive. Like, I think you can go from, I haven't looked at the 100 litre ones, but like the price difference between like a 6 gallon and a 10 gallon or 11 or 12 or whatever they go to, it's not double or anything. It's only like another $100 or a couple $100 on top. And all the fittings are all the same. So, the fittings don't get more expensive. It's only just that little bit of base model. And that's what's silly about a lot of these fermenters. They all use, these are the same size fittings they use on, a 10 heck or those that don't use heck, a 1,000 litre, 2,000 litre, 3,000 litre, 4,000, 5,000 litre fermenter, 10,000 litre fermenter still use the same size fittings. And that's why I always tell people when they buy from Zillas and stuff, and they go to put all this stainless steel hardware on there and 1.5 or 2 inch drain ports, I'm going, man, you're going to lose all your beer. Like, it's just not worth it. They're the same size fittings. breweries use them because they can afford, well, no one likes to lose a bit, but, 1 litre of beer or 2 litres of beer cleaning a line or cleaning out the yeast doesn't matter as much. But when you're only brewing you might have 22 litres in your fermenter or something, you might have already taken the yeast off. You might have taken something else off, so it's getting down and down and down, and you can't afford to lose that much beer. You won't get a keg full. Yeah, so it's not that much. Yeah, so the difference between a 53 and a 96 litre, so a 50 litre and a 100 litre is only $300 or something for it, 300 and something bucks. Well, it's still a big bit, but fucking more money than I got. I was just lucky, man. And the only reason I got the second one, I did ask for the X2 because as I said before, I got all the cheeky peak stuff and I sold my old brew builts and then I regretted it immediately. And I didn't. I asked Kegland, I said, man, come on. I need a... And the only reason I asked Kegland is, well, they're my local shop. Grain and Grape they only had mostly Speedle and Bromeister, way priced out of my league. And so the only other shop is Kegland and the other mob, which I don't deal with, so that's why. It's not that there's any deal, but there's no deal between me and Kegland or anything. There's nothing. I've met Key, as I've said before. I don't know. He's a great bloke, but smiling assassin. But 5-6 times, it's and I've known him for a very long time. And a couple of those might have been with the other mob. Would have been with the other mob. Oh, that's fucking... I can't drink it. Fucking orange peel. It's like sucking on an orange peel. And I love citrusy beers. Citrusy beers are my favourite, but... That's that high voltage yeast. Don't buy it unless you like Quake. It's not fucking... I don't care what anyone says or how many videos people did on it that it's a clean yeast. It's not a clean yeast at all. It's the furthest from a clean yeast I've ever had. What's the best 6 keg kegerator? Well, you can't... There's no one that sells fancy kegerators, right? The Kegland ones work, but then you pay. It's big money for me, but compared to what you pay for a normal fridge, they're very, very cheap. So they're a little bit noisy. The fan's clunky in them. And actually, my fridges are quiet now anyway. So they sound like a pigeon when you first get them, but all mine have quieted down. And that was the same with the other mob too. And the next step up from that is these industrial ones, right? But you don't want them in your house either because they're industrial. You got the big fucking, they're all stainless and the glass doors and they look great, but you wouldn't want one again because they build houses with walls like fucking paper. This one's shit, this house. You wouldn't want one in your room because they're noisy. They're like old fridges, man. They're not like, new fridges like the one we bought that spent $3,000 on or whatever it was. I don't know. It was maybe $2,000. It's all enclosed back and everything's enclosed, and so it's kind of quiet. It's noisy these days. The kegerators and I'm saying Kegland because they're the ones I've used, but looking at the others, most of them are just rebadged anyway. And if not rebadged, look at them and they're identical. But they're open backed and stuff. So, and people these days aren't used to hearing that compressor come on and things like that. That's just normal. As I said, our main fridge in the kitchen isn't open back these days. Most fridges aren't. So you don't get I don't know what you mean by the best. It depends. And 6 keg, do you mean like 19 litre kegs? Do you mean do you mean cornies or do you mean commercial? I guess you mean cornies probably. Well, if you want a 6 kegerator to buy, I don't think you can go past the normal one, the I don't know, the Series X. I think they're still called Series X's. I haven't even looked. Look, build your own is a whole other thing, and yes, you can. Out of a freezer, there's a couple of things to think about. Most people will buy an old freezer, and they're likely freezers aren't made to be kept at fridge temps, right? So you might have better insulation, which is a good thing, but they're not really made to run at fridge temps. So they're turning on and off more than they should. And if you're buying an old one and it breaks, you've got the chances of getting the exact same one to fit all your fittings and stuff is small. So you've got to keep that in mind. And even as I say, even these days, if you go and buy a new one and something goes wrong, who knows? The next year's model might be totally different. Though you might be able to still go and buy a second-hand one and swap everything over straight away. So there's that. The other thing for me is lifting kegs in and out. I don't want to lift kegs in and out of fridges anymore. Some days it's fine. I don't care. Other days it's not. I want the taps on top. Sorry, the people saying hello and goodbye. I'm chatting too much. Thank you for dropping in and having a chat. And g'day, Mike, legend. So I was going to make some sort of fold down for the taps or whatever. Because if I have it in the house, I don't want the taps sticking out the front. Because you're walking past, kids are walking past, and you're going to bump them taps. If you've got a dedicated brewing space, that probably doesn't matter, right? And there's always that awful freaking drip tray that you're going to kick your ankle on or your knee on your shin on or whatever. So I don't want taps out the front. So I want them on top. And the trouble with that is if you got it in a spot where it's not easy to pull out or you don't want to pull it out because it shakes up the kegs and stuff, then you've got to lift up the lid and then you've got the problem of the towers, hitting the wall. Because you've got to open them right up. You can't just open it halfway and get a keg in and out or whatever. So that's the issues with the kegerators. You can look good and look great, but I was going to make some sort of thing where I could try and fold down the taps so you didn't have to totally move it and lift up the top. Because I didn't want the taps on the front. Compass or Atlas is good. Voyager's good, man. Stick with Voyager. I wouldn't go anywhere else at the moment. Gladfield had no, I wouldn't use Keg King, wouldn't I? I don't even like saying their name, but anyway. Buy anything from them. Any of the Voyager malts are good. Gladfield's good, but they've put their price up. So they used to be cheap like Voyager, but it's not anymore. So you're probably paying extra $20, $30 a bag. Barrett Burston is okay. The Joe White Premium stuff is okay. If you go to their premium range. I mean, it depends what you make it to. You can still make beer out of Joe White normal, and it depends what you're after. But Voyager are a great, and you can tell which they're one of those malts that they're not mixed. So most other 99% of other malt companies, you could have old, it's not so much old, but they're from different paddocks and different, it's a mix. Where Voyager, you can know exactly which paddock your malt comes from. It's a small malted and from one paddock, and a lot of love put into Voyager stuff. And Stuart's a legend. Yeah, Gladfield's great malt, but yeah, it's got expensive. I buy most of the time at the moment. I have Atlas or what have I got now? I got Atlas again this time. Got Atlas again because I normally go. I can't even remember which one Atlas is. I normally go for the Pilsner type one because if I want to add a little bit of malt to it, I can do that with other malts. And you know, to me, most of the difference between some Pilsner malts and some ale malts, they're pretty close. You know, unless you're getting an extremely light Pilsner malt and an extremely dark ale malt, then there's a bit of a difference. But if it's only like one or two EBC, that I don't think much. I need to. The wife needs something out of the freezer. Yeah, so that's the thing about the freezers is as much as I was going to buy one and do it, and the wife went, "No, don't want that in the house, and the mess you'll make making it and all that sort of stuff." She was the one that bought me my original kegerator. That's a long time ago now, but for my birthday or Christmas or something. So and fridges are great. The only issue with the fridge is, you know, and it's a small issue, really, that you lose the whole cold when you open the door. But what I do is dedicate a fridge to fucking kegs and try not to have it for soft drinks and things where kids and people are opening it all the time. If it's a dedicated kegerator fridge, bang, you can have the taps nice and high. You've still got the thing of them sticking out the front, but that, you know, it's different to a Keezer where they're down here. For me, I think that's... And they're easier to get kegs in and out of. You don't have to be lifting over the top and, you know. Is it viable to use Marisota as a do-it-all? But look, no, you can. You can use Marisota. I don't think it's as good as everyone says. I just think it's another malt. There's plenty of choices. I think. What's the people say the Voyager is a Valeria or something like that? Something or other is like Marisota. I don't think Marisota is different to other malts. I just think that it sits in this level, and I don't think it's special. And the last bag I bought of it made me say I'm never buying it again. The consistency in the malt was absolutely terrible. The small malts, it was just awful. I couldn't get a good crush out of it. Peloria, there you go. They reckon that one's like... So I don't buy, especially the price of it, Marisota anymore. It's just another grain. They don't do anything special to it, right? It's just another grain. And I know it's got a famous thing and people love it and that, but it's really just another grain. Oh, these. Oh, it'll be on the... I don't know if it's... I don't know. Is there links below this video? Probably isn't. There's links to these shirts. I think it's on Spreadshirt. How you going, Simple Homebrew? And see the thing with the other thing about Marisota is that most people make them, use it for ESBs and stouts and all these big beers, and the amount of specialty malts they put with it, it nearly doesn't matter what the base malt is. Oh, I wrote simple. I don't need simple homebrew. I need, can't remember what it's called. It's gone out of my head. I just had it in my head, and then I started writing the wrong word. Spreadshirt. I don't know. Gotta find it soon. Spreadshirt, Homebrew Network. I should be onto this, but I'm sort of... I'm halfway through designing a bunch of new ones, and I'm never happy. And so it's been like 12 months of designing new ones. All right, I'm logged in. Shops. 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 Oh, someone bought one. I've had 2 sales. Wow. It doesn't happen very often. Still can't find what my channel is there. Oh. What's this Brew? Oops, I've got to spell it right. It's under my videos most of the time. I don't know what. Oh, God, no, I can't spell. Maybe if I spell things right, it'll work. Nope. How do I get rid of that? Aha, that would. No, it didn't. That's not me. I don't know. I can't find it. I mean, I'm logged in. I just can't find the link. I should know all this thing. Thanks for the thanks for the shout out, Simple, and I should be able to go. Yes, it's here, but I'm shit at selling stuff. Share. I think I found it. Copy. I think I found it. If I was good at selling stuff, I probably wouldn't be still sitting in this garage. Although that doesn't look right. I think that works. It says affiliate. It shouldn't say affiliate. I don't know. Let me know if that works. Why is my screen? Well, they've reset all the headers. Things have happened. Oh, what's happened to all my designs? Maybe I should go and check it out. What do you need today? I don't think that's right. But anyway, it's below any other video. There'll be a link to the spreadsheet. Let me get something out of the freezer for the wife. Oh, it works. But there's things missing. I've got all these pictures of cardboard boxes and things. That wasn't there last week or the other week. Oh, the first wort, yeah. The first wort kit is very ready to be tested. I could go and get one now if you want. Actually, yes, I'll tip this crap out. Don't buy high voltage yeast. Should have known better than from an Irish bloody yeast manufacturer. I was going to do all my tastings 2 weeks ago and I've been sick, so I haven't been able to talk and I haven't been able to taste. So hopefully this week. Oh, g'day, from Austria. How you going? Just say, oh, have you ever roused yeast during a different? I've had no reason to. I mean, you can, of course, you can rouse it. I just haven't had a. Oh, thanks for the tip or whatever that's called on YouTube. I'm not live very much. I haven't seen that before. Yeah, so I don't have any need. I reckon the reason UK would rouse yeast more is because of the. I don't care what anyone says. It's stuff like SO4 and that, or SO4 is renowned for stalling. And so if you're not riding the temperature, then it's likely to stall, and rousing might be your only option. That's why you should always bump the temperature. 1025. Start bumping that temperature or let it free rise when you're using UK yeast. Oh, you bought like an NZ bug. Oh no, might take us over. The El Zombie. Oh, it's a good bloody beer. I need to have that too. Flocculants. Oh well, yeah, but they shouldn't be flocculating until they're done. Maybe they have troubles with warming. Well, see, most breweries can't warm a tank, can they? They rely on thermal mass or free rise, and if it doesn't happen, then they don't have much choice because most breweries can't warm their fermenters. Yeah, watch what you're saying. Mike and Goose are Kiwis. That's what. Watch out. Can't say too much. And they're not. They're all in. The rest of New Zealand's in Werribee over here, so I've got to keep my voice down. I'll be bashed. Yeah, fun in New Zealand, mate. Suppose you'll see videos soon. If you haven't, I haven't seen any lately, but. I really wanted to try to pronounce your name from Austria because I know you're in Patreon and comment on my videos, but I have no idea how to try to pronounce that. I'll have to Google it one day. I wouldn't even know where to start. Yeah, Mike's Hard Yards. Oh, Manuel. Oh, I think you've told me that before. My memory's terrible. Told me that before. Now I remember. Yeah, Mike's Hard Yard Brewers. Oh, I think I follow that channel. I probably don't get notifications for it. I think I follow it. I don't know. I follow that many thousand. You don't, it doesn't. I try and put on notifications for everyone, but there's so many you just don't see them, No, I'm finished. I am in the hot cube and it's sitting right beside me. I'm not going to lift it. I'll do my back. Oh, thanks. Pets. The pets. Sitting a fair way from them. Closer to the screen. No, the beer is here. I didn't. Hot. The beer's here. I no chilled it today just for ease, and there's only a 60-minute addition of hops, so I didn't have to change the recipe or do anything. So I was just no chilled it. Save water, save time. I've got to brew another batch this week, so it saves me having to, and I'll be using the chiller and everything for the other, in a day or two, so I just didn't want to have to go through and clean everything. So this is fine for a no chill, and the next batch I'll chill, so everything will be clean. I don't have to wash it. Show us my tap system. Oh, it's inside. It's not in here. I haven't got it set up. Sometimes when I'm on my other computer, I can do the thing with my phone and show you, but I can't on this computer. It's not set up. The one in the fridge, I've just got a. Can't see it, but you don't need to. I've just got one of those that I swap over each keg when I want to get a drink out. The one's in the garage. That's the Nuka flow control. Brilliant. I've used everything. For years, I used just a party tap, but and I'd still use a party tap if I had to, but this is it's a bit better. But otherwise, I've just got inside. I've got one of the Series X 8. I think they hold 8 kegs or something. I've only got 4 in it. There's only me that really drinks. My wife has one beer a week or something maybe, but so I don't really need anything else. yeah, that's yeah. That's it. My gas bottle just gets carried. I got a couple in this fridge and a couple in that fridge over there, and it's only at the moment where I've got a lot of kegs full of not full of beer. I've got a lot of kegs with a little bit of beer in it. So normally 4 inside's enough for me. Like I don't need that. Fresh wort is the next best thing. It shits on. I don't care what anybody says. Any extract you'll ever brew, beer you'll ever brew. Of course, it relies on the quality of the first wort kit, but because the first wort kit is the same as what I do here. No chill cube. That's a first wort kit, right? It's all grain beer, just not chilled. I put the ring too high on the floating ball. Oh, I don't know. I haven't used my floating balls in my kegs, but all my fermenters, yeah, they always go on the end, but the last one, I don't know. But in the fermenter, you don't want to drain the last bit, see? And I cut mine short so they don't get anywhere near the bottom. I don't want to be picking up hop matter or yeast in my fermenter, so maybe if I put it in a keg, I'd do it different. I haven't really thought about it. I've thought about inside making an 8-tap kegerator, but it's money, man. It's very expensive. And I like having my wife's taken over my other beer fridge, so that's got food and milk in it and stuff. So half of, I've got 4 kegs on one side and a little, a little shelf that has beers and stuff on the other side. G'day, Dave. Yeah, brew day went extremely smoothly. But yeah, fresh wort kit, Jason, all the way. Far out. And you can get them pretty cheap these days, Maybe if you're getting an EPA or any IPA or whatever you want to call them, yeah, you're going to have to pay more because you're buying hops and stuff. But if you're just doing lagers, the simple ales, they're not much cheaper, much more expensive than tins. Yeah, unless you're buying Woolies tins on special and using sugar or something. But if you want a beer it's all grain. First wort kits are all grain. If they're not, check with where you're buying from, because I can guarantee there'll be some dodgy people somewhere doing extract first wort kits. But most of the ones I know are all grain. Yeah, good to see you too, Mike. I don't see much of you lately. We were talking about you again on Saturday night. Tim was there. Tim said he had a chat to you and had seen you. Must have been the Friday night. You were both on night shift or something like that. Well, I see. I do have 2 fridges out here, and the big Series X kegerator inside. So it's not like I'm struggling, but at the same time, it was my beer fridge, and my beer fridge, even though it's her fridge now, it's still like a quarter full of yeast I'll probably never use. Stuff. I'll probably do calisthenics, yoga, acupuncture. No, I'll be doing brewing, teaching brewing. I've been meaning to do it for a long time, and then COVID happened, and then my garage has been too full of shit, and now there's a heap of room in here now. It still needs a bit of I need another set of shelves and it'll be tidied up better. But I've also been waiting because there's people that watch my videos, right? And there's a lot of yous. Thank you very much. But that's not going to support a business or support me. I only need to do 1 or 2 a month or whatever just to try and get some income, because I'm not on the pension. I was on the disability pension and then I got married and lost it. So I just live off the $200 from YouTube a month and my Patreons. That's the only thing I've got coming in. So it's not enough to even pay the rent. So that's why I've got to do something. But it's I've gone. I've done the school course before, but when I did it, it's a long story. There was no certificate for it back in the old days. Uh, and then I did a science in brewing course, but that was an overseas one. And so I'm halfway through a course now, so at least I'll have an Australian qualification. For the people that don't watch YouTube and don't know me from YouTube, will at least be able to see I have a qualification in Australia for brewing, which is, I mean, qualifications mean fucking nothing. It's all experience. And one of my teachers is a great bloke, and he might be watching. He used to watch my videos. I won't say he learnt from my videos, but when he started brewing, he's a very smart person. He's all sciencey chemistry stuff or something, very smart. But yeah, a lot of the brewers these days, when they thanks for the tip, Steve. Thank you very much, mate. Much really appreciated. He actually, so first week I sat down for my class at school, the camera turned on. I won't mention names. You might not be, but and I'd actually been drinking. We had a few beers with him at Gabs and stuff, only like a couple of weeks beforehand. But so yeah, it'll be I'll be giving it. I can go to people's houses too. It doesn't have to be here. And it's just some people learn better that way. I do. I'd learn better that way, hands on, than watching videos and stuff. So. Thanks very much, Steve. Is that a dancing avocado? I like avocados. I had half avocado this morning for breakfast. Well, it wasn't smashed on toast. It was in my protein shake. It's very fucking exciting, isn't it? I need a beer. Now, what was I going to get? Did someone say I was going to get a beer of some sort? What was it? I even washed out the cup to get a beer here. Can't remember. No, that was the Quake one that I tipped out. You bastard. It was having classic, yeah. Yeah, it'll be brewing. So what will happen is you'll come here and it depends what people want. We might have online class first, like the recipe development and things like that, if you want. Go through a bit like that. Maybe some, private videos and stuff and some online stuff. And then have a brew day here, full brew day from everything from brewing it. And then I send you home with a cube of the beer and you can, put in your fermenter at home and stuff. Oh, you got the pill working, Dave? Good. Now, what was I going to get? What beers do I have in there? No, it wasn't them. Oh, it was the first wort kit beer. Yeah. That's right. Fresh wort kit cash. That's what you meant. Cool. I'll be back in a sec. You can watch the filtering of the. I haven't got anything set up out here to put anything on for you. I'll be back. Sorry about that. Hope you didn't hear me talking to the wife just then. Hernias and bladders. I don't have a hernia. But I reckon my bladder must be the size of a first wort kit, let me tell you. Oh, g'day, IJ. All right, this is the Hazy Pale of Newcastle Brewing Company. Now, I don't know if you could hear me when I first got my first beer from out over there, or second beer it was, that I drank here, out of the fridge over there. And what happened was when I video out here, when the fan comes on in that fridge, it's a bit loud sometimes. And it annoys me when I'm listening and editing, and it probably annoys people listening to my videos. So I turn it off sometimes, like I did today. Oh, did I remember to turn it back on? I know I've forgotten that. And so I was recording videos out here for a day, and the Hazy Pale was in there, and I tested it a few times. I think hopefully there's footage in my Patreon videos somewhere of me, so I've got footage of it. And it was, don't think I stopped talking about the first bladder thing. Anyway, excellent, Ninja. Thanks very much, mate. I hope you don't regret it, and I hope your beer's better. That's what it's all about, isn't it? And so it was hazy. Not extremely hazy, but I don't like, it was hazy. Not like those things I had before. And I forgot to turn the fridge back on. And so I came out, I think it was the next day, and things weren't extremely warm. Like didn't get up to like 20 degrees or whatever. I think it got up to like 15 degrees. It was winter. It was a month or two ago. And then when I turned the fridge back on and it got cold again, it nearly cleared up. It's still not, as you can see, it's still not crystal clear. But I mean, for me, that's a hazy pale, or a hazy IPA should look like that. If you want it thick and that other stuff, that's like to me, that's an anti-IPA or an IPA or whatever you want to call them. A hazy pale or hazy IPA should just be a little bit hazy, right? But it's not cleared right up, but it cleared pretty much when I let it warm up. But who gives a shit, right? It tastes good. As you can see, there's a nice head on it. Sitting here with me talking and throwing it around. It's got the lacing, and it tastes good. It's not, I wouldn't say it was a soft beer. Like it's not it's not an IPA or an NEIPA. It's a hazy pale. So it's got a little bit of bitterness, which I like. I really like. Again, it's not too much, but there's a really nice hop presence. Like compared to that high voltage thing and even the Pomona one, I prefer it over those two. The two hazies I've had in front of you today. I'm not exactly sure what hops are in it, and I can't actually remember what we used in it to dry hop. What do we use? It's probably Citra and Galaxy or something. But to me, it doesn't taste like that in the beer. It tastes like, I don't know what it is, but it's tasty. It's tasty. Are you a Newcastle guy? Well, no, but no, it's really nice. I drink this every day. I've had to put myself on stop drinking it because I've got to do the review, right? I've got to do the review, so it's like eggs gonna blow. Well, I'm still a London fog sort of person, and I mean, I think that's what Verdun is anyway. London fog 3, not London fog. Called London Ale 3, which is I think what Verdun is. Although I know everyone loves Verdun. The last couple of times I used it, I haven't liked the aromas I get off it early in the ferment, but that's it. That's another. I can't even remember what I used to use all the time. I don't sort of brew them very much anymore. The Pomona I used And the beer I was drinking earlier created a nice hazy beer. The Quikes do a nice hazy beer, but I don't like the taste of them. The Pomona does a great one. If you like the apricot, we've talked about it earlier, the apricot peach type thing, that new Pomona yeast is great for that. It really throws that. What's that? Is it S33? Is a good one. And you can't get K97. K97 is a good one. It's hard to say what I prefer. I sort of mix and change, and I've been sort of off the hazy thing for a year or two now. Like I don't really brew them anymore, except for those NEIPAs. But they're both brand new yeasts that I've just brewed lately. That's why I've been using them. I don't sort of have a steadfast one. I prefer using dry at the moment. I think everyone starts with dry and then they go through a phase early in their brewing. Could be, I must use liquid. You'll speak to some home brewer or brewer online and they'll go, you must use liquid. It's better. It's the same fucking thing. The thing when you start using liquid yeast is you start realizing you've got to look after it more and you treat it nicer and you might make a starter. And so you're starting to pitch the right amount of yeast. And in the old days, you had more variety. You probably still get more variety in the liquid, but the difference between beers at the end of the day, to me, I don't have a preference. Look, I'm picky with my beers these days because I don't drink a lot as much as I used to, and so I want them to be right. And plus, I tell people what to do. I want people to try and enjoy their beers and not be one of these YouTubers that just says everything's the greatest and go and buy this. You know what I mean? Yeah, Granny, I agree with you. Nearly every yeast is a hybrid. Every lager yeast is officially a hybrid. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean by the latest marketing, especially from Lyleman, is the hybrid thing. And they've all been pretty good. Yeah, so it depends what you do with the yeast and how it's been treated before you get to it. Before you get it. And dry yeast is much more reliable and easier to use. And, even if it's been treated a little bit badly, you've got much better chance of, still performing compared to a liquid yeast. And just less work for me. Sometimes things are getting easier now as my kids are getting older, but, I've been a stay-at-home dad with two young girls, and it's just been hard to really even plan a day. You plan it, and it's a liquid yeast, you've got to be ready to go. Do your starter, maybe, step up your starter, crash chill your starter if it's for lager so you can pour off the top. It just got too hard with the kids. How do you calibrate Gen5? No, I would never bother anymore. Yeah, I used USO5 exclusively for years and years and years because anything that's clean, I prefer clean yeasts. I know the trend lately is for all ester production and stuff like that, Pomona yeast. But I prefer a clean yeast because I like malt and hops. So I know you can get yeast that, accentuates it or whatever it is. But I prefer clean yeasts. I would not calibrate at 0 and 100. The main reason for that is the most important thing's the mash. That's in the middle there somewhere. So it's not at a 0 and it's not at 100. The boil doesn't matter because if you're turning it to 100 to boil, you're doing it wrong anyway. You should just turn it to 120 or whatever you can. As long as you're like 5 or 10 degrees past the boil, past 100, that's the best setting to have because if you set it at 100, it'll be switching on and off where you probably shouldn't be doing that. So to me, and even for my pH meters, instead of doing triple, calibrations or whatever, one near to where you're going to want it, right? So with my pH meters, I try and get the one that's close to 5. So I might use just the 4 pH, right? Because there's no point. What's the point of putting a 9 one in? I'm not measuring 9. I'm measuring my wort's going to be between 5 and 6 or something, you know. And it's the same with my Brewzillas. So, and 0 is really hard to get. Yeah, you can fill it up with. When I first tried to do it, when the Gen 4s first come out, I tried that, the ice, and then to boil. So, and then something would fuck up, so you'd have to start again. But then you'd have all this ice, and you'd have to get that out of the Brewzilla, and then get water to boiling temperature, and be boiling, and then you'd power off or something. Something had happened. It was just a nightmare. So, they changed it so it didn't have to be 0 and 100, which was fucking best thing ever. So I just do it, get a reliable. I just still use my little. What's out here before? I've taken it inside to test the snags. My little javelin thermometer, if I need to, and just get it to around 50, 60, whatever, and take a temperature. They're nearly instant read. Turn the boil off. Make sure you got enough water in it. Like, if you've only got 2 or 3 litres, the heat of the elements is going to be throwing off your calibration, because even though they've turned off, they might have just been on. So there's residual heat coming off. So if you really want to get it as accurate as you can, put a good 15 litres in there, maybe 20. Let it heat. Put the lid on, right? Walk away for an hour or half hour. Let it sit at a temperature. Come back. Make sure you come back sort of in between heating cycles, not so it's just come on. Like if you're near it and you hear it coming on, don't take a measurement just then. Have the pump going to flow the water, so the water's moving around. And come in sort of halfway, wait a few minutes after the elements come off. Then test it and take the temperature then. Okay, Paul and Jason, and I think I've just a few names and bust up. Yeah, so and yeah, the storage of liquid yeast is a nightmare. I know there's lots of people that do it. I talked about it earlier, that stick it in the fridge, but that's really, really bad for your yeast. It's really, really bad. Hi, Goose. And you can do all the freezing stuff. The freezing stuff's great, but that means every time you make a beer, you've got to do like a 3 or 4 step starter, because you start with like this much of yeast, and you start with like 100 ml starter, and then you put that up to like a 500 ml starter or whatever. That's probably even too big a jump. And then a litre, and then 2 litres, 3 litres. And if you look at the numbers, the official numbers, I haven't put the video out yet for my yeast count video, but I've done it. The Patreons have seen one. You need a lot of yeast to be, to have the right amount, especially liquid yeast it's massive amounts. I did a quick one on my Patreon where if you compared it to, to dry yeast counts, you would be using at least 2 packs of ale yeast in every batch, often 3. And so, that's why I often say in lager, if I could afford it, I'd be putting 4 packs at least in every batch of lager. I can't afford that, so I usually put 2 packs in, maybe 3 if I can afford it, or do a sacrificial batch where you're still going to drink it anyway, but do a first batch of beer with 2 or 3 packets of yeast, and then use that yeast cake to brew your next beer. Lagers. Now, Nova Lager's different. Nova Lager, even though a lot of times I have used 2 packs, I have got away with 1 pack. But if I was doing like a 6%, I'd probably go for 2 packs. If it's just like a 4%, 4.5%, 1 pack of Nova Lager is probably plenty. Again, depending how it's been handled before you get it. But Nova Lager's a beast. And don't bother. You get these brewers that want to do all their lager yeast at 9 degrees or 8 degrees, and it's even below the There's people all the time that I see, and they'll use 3470 and use it 5 degrees lower than the recommended temperature. It's like, well, they do all these tests, many tests, computer tests, like lab tests, sensory tests, real people. to find the best way to use their yeast. And no, it's fucking traditional to brew it at 8 degrees or something. But it's like, well, get a yeast that you're supposed to use at 8 degrees. But yeah, Novalag is a beast. It is a beast of a yeast. Still, if it was a big beer, yeah, I would use 2. In a juicy banger, I'd use 2. I would use 2 of dry yeast in just about every batch, especially here in Australia, as I was sort of mentioning earlier. A lot of the US do the yeast counts and things, and they were always for 19-litre batches. I don't know why anyone would want to brew a 19-litre batch. It's not even enough by the time you get it off the yeast, and they used to rack it too. So I'm not knocking them, but I never understood it because they'd do 19 litres, 5 gallons, and then they'd rack it to a secondary, so you'd leave maybe a litre behind, and then let that clear, and then put it in a keg. I don't even know how they ever got a full keg. Because I still, like, I'm only kegging. I don't bottle anymore, so I still brew 6-gallon batches. 22 I usually knock it down to, 22 litres. To make sure I've got, if I stuff up, if I always take the yeast off. So there's a litre gone. If I stuff up, if I boil, don't get as much out as I want, I'll always have a full keg of beer at the end. Chill or no chill. No chill's fine. Work it out yourself. Don't fucking listen to all the people that say everything has to be moved 20 minutes because that's just rubbish. That was such a broad, old school thing we used to do. My no-chill beer today, I didn't change the recipe at all because it's only got a 60-minute addition. There's no point. Moving that to 40 minutes is going to make absolutely no difference at all, and I'm boiling from an hour anyway, so put them in at the start of the hour. Putting him in at 40 minutes would have made no bloody difference. It would have just made the day more of a, an extra step I didn't need to do. Yeah, do what works for you, that's right. But you're 15 passionate. Is that when, are you reusing it? Manuel, are you reusing it to get different things, or are you just getting different things, like different results from, a new packet each time? Oh, fuck. Thanks, Dave. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers. What are you holding in that picture? It's so small I can't see. I don't know if I want to see it. I can't see what it is. Thanks very much, Dave. Much appreciated. Oh, rocket. Oh, cool. I used to build those when I was a kid. I've been thinking about it again, my 3D printer, and showing my kids. But we're near the airport. We'll get shot. I'll get shot. They'll come and hunt for me if I start letting rockets off. We'd have to go somewhere else. Yeah, right. Yeah, I've heard some people say this was hazy. Mine have cleared pretty well. But, when I'm doing those sort of beers, I don't mess around. I'll probably use biofine, I'll keg with biofine whether I think I need it or not, for most beers anyway. So, and whether it's that or not too, biofine doesn't clear everything. It clears yeast though. So if it is the yeast, the biofine would fix that up. Now I want to see that rocket. Like a big one. I remember my first rocket, my auntie bought me one. Because I was from a broken family, very young, I didn't grow up with my mum and dad. And so aunties and stuff, it was the only way we can get stuff. Oh, man, thanks, man. How do I, as I said, let's celebrate on a third super on a live stream. I don't know what that means. How do I celebrate? But thank you. Oh, cool, yeah, in the Rocketry Association. Well, my auntie bought me one, and it was this big yellow thing. I can't remember the name of it because we're talking would have been mid-80s, and it must have been 3 foot long. This big yellow thing. And me and my mates were building them ourselves anyway. So I'd built this little one, out of a cardboard tube, and we built a little fucking thing with a holder on the top, and the top was a glue packet or something. Made our own parachutes and that. And anyway, my auntie was there. She goes, "All right, we'll try this one." And it was like, because we used to use welding rods as the launching rod, but this thing was 3 foot long, so I don't think that the welding rod or whatever we were using wasn't long enough or strong enough. But anyway, we got this rocket, big 3 foot one, ready to go. Hook up the little 6-bolt battery to the bloody igniter or whatever it is. And next, the rocket started, and as soon as it sort of moved a bit, like it went down like that, and it shot across the ground, I don't know, about 2 foot off the ground. My auntie's crapped herself. Like, it didn't come towards me. Everyone else jumped out of the way. I went for a few hundred metres, about 2 foot off the ground. But my little one I made out of a cardboard tube, that worked properly. That went up and come down. It was a land shark. Is that what you call them? It was a land shark. I thought it was hilarious. But we never used that yellow one again. The ones we made ourselves out of it was just like a cardboard tube with the top of a squeezy glue bottle and a little piece of metal we used to hold the engines in. Can't remember what engines. I think we were using C's. D's. I can't remember. Yeah, my main overlagers have been, I haven't had a hazy no lager, but then again, it's not only the yeast sometimes, it can be your methods or your chilling or how long you take to start your chilling, like if you're doing big whirlpools and things like that, or you're doing any of those long whirlpools, you're going to get haze from that. G'day, Ricky. Those two I showed you today, those extremely hazy ones, the Pomona's like sort of 75% haze, that other one that's like about 90% haze. That must be awesome, though, Dave. I thought they'd be illegal by now. The bigger ones, you probably got to need a license, do you? I didn't do any biotransformation early hopping in those beers, and that beer, that extremely hazy one that you can't even nearly see through, it's got to be, as I said before, it's got to have been in the keg at least a month, maybe longer. This one here, over 2 weeks, 3-4 weeks. So, and no biotransformation hops, right? As in early hopping or mid hopping. Both of them were hopped after the end of fermentation. So there's a lot of weird stuff around. That was only because the beers were kind of new about how you make NIPAs and what is the haze and why it's there. Because even that video I did ages ago about not dry hopping day one can make a clear beer. So the facts are changing all the time. And it can be the combination of that hop and that yeast and that grain. G'day, Graham. My old Auntie Lynn, she was cool. She's still alive. She's living in Marundi, I think it's called at the moment. Sort of mid-north New South Wales. Yes, it is. Marundi. I don't know. It's kind of that way. Yeah. But yeah, she's getting on. on. Yeah, it's up there. North of Newcastle and a little bit west, I think. I haven't been there, but I've been meaning to go. But we visited Central Coast, and she goes, "I'll come up," but I don't have a car or anything, so it's like we only usually go up for a couple of days, and then it's like it's another day trip on it, at least a day or two trip on its own. So Murrurundi, yes, that's it. And I actually looked. I nearly went up there last time I was up in Sydney, and because I was up there for a week, then I got sick, of course. Uh, but I thought, the pubs will be cheap. I'll be able to go to Murrurundi and get $70, $80 for just a room in a pub. Nah, they're expensive. I didn't expect that. I'm old school when did you start enjoying the super passion fruit beers? I'm not really passion fruit's not really my thing. I don't mind it. But if you mean like the fruity beers, I'm still not a soft fruity beer. I'm still not a huge fan of NIPAs and stuff. I like the way I describe it to my, people that don't drink craft beer. It's like cooking. You start cooking, you might have a little bit of Tabasco, and then you get hotter with chili, more spice, more fucking herbs and shit. It's the same with beer. I've been brewing for 36 years or something, and it's probably even more now. I always forget to update it. You want more hops, you want more bitter, you want more this, and just you slowly go bang, bang, bang. Like I just want to change too because I drank so much beer over my life that sometimes I needed a change. I couldn't drink VB forever, although I thought I was going to. There was one of those days where I found, I don't know what it was, Little Creatures Pale Ale or something like that, and it was just, wow, what the hell is this? And I loved it. And again, it was like, you drink that for a while, and that starts tasting normal, and then you go, I want the next thing up, and that's what happened to me anyway. But then, I do try everything, but then I always go back. Pale ale, I just like a moderately hoppy pale ale and or extremely hoppy. I don't mind really. But I'm not into the soft fruity ones. I like the citrusy ones. Like the Citra for me is still, one of my favourite hops. It's not always good. You've got to get the right year and the right batch. But again, at the moment, like even that Mexican beer that people are talking about, and I love a good lager, a well brewed lager. But there's not all lagers I like. You'll have your favourites. It doesn't hurt to have a keg of NEPA. I'm kind of a little, as I said, a little bit over NEPAs. I like them. I've always had bitterness in mine, right? The original NEPA had 100 fucking IBUs, but everyone seems to have forgotten that. But no, I still like I still like them, but they've got to be good. That's what I said. I don't drink as much beer anymore, so when I have one, I want that beer to be good, right? There's years and years I didn't care. It didn't matter, right? It's because I don't drink as much anymore. I want it to be good. Why waste your time? White Rose, that's a good movie. Want to stick a brew day on? It was a public holiday here for a horse race in my state. White Rose, that's why. Well, the wife's home and the kids are home, but they don't like being on the camera. So the kids would be out here if they could, but the wife doesn't like the camera, so they're staying away. It's a good secret. It's a good secret to have, even if you don't stream or live YouTube. Tell them you are if they don't want to be on, and they'll stay away. Someone just coughed. She's listening to me out the front going, I'm listening. Yeah, but that's the Newcastle Hazy. It's nice. I can't pick. I'm not sure what hop is in it. It often tastes a little bit eclipsy at the moment. And maybe it's eclipse at the end. I think, as I said, I think I dry hopped it with Citra and Galaxy. I think that was the dry hops they gave. But there's a real flavour hop in there. And it's throwing eclipsy vibes, but I'm not willing to put my money on it. Could be Galaxy. It's probably a mixture. G'day, Brad. Wish I could see people's pictures better. I can't really see them, they're so tiny. I think I might have to get the Juicy Bing. Oh, that's what I was going to show. The people that were asking me about it was probably gone by now. I've got my Juicy Bing, but they're in the fridge behind the... Get rid of this no chill cube. HSP out of the way. Bucket out of the way. Put the seat out of the way. Get out of the way. Alright, I think everything's out of the way. Something will probably fall down. This is the system I'm selling, and there's a bit of other junk on it at the moment, like a Boba Fett helmet. The Boba Fett helmet doesn't come with it. Although $2,000, you can have the Boba Fett helmet. Isn't that deal? Yeah, looking at the back of it though, with the two fermenters, and that's the brew kettle. Yeah, if you don't want it pretty soon, then I'm going to build a rim system for it, and the price is going to go up. Because a rim system isn't cheap to build. And the table and all the wheels and all that. You'll need a big car. Equinox, is that what it is? That's the one I can taste. The Equinox. I knew there was a Eclipsey, that's the Equinox. There's something there that tasted. Oh, and I am, as I said, still filtering my food safe sanitizer. I reckon. And my other beer you can't see is behind over here in the other fridge. So even if I turn it around, you're going to be looking at the fridge door. It's in here. Oh, shit. I was going to sing elevator music, but that's not. All right. Seat back. All right, cheers. This is the Juicy Banger one, which are the recipe videos I've been up for ages. Still hanging around. Because I made 2 kegs of it. And as I say, it's only me drinking it. The wife won't drink something like this, so she only drinks the lagers. So sometimes things last. And because this is my first keg of it, I overshot my numbers. So my first keg's like, and I didn't adjust it. I should have watered it down, but I didn't. My first keg's 6.5% or something, so it gets you shit faced. And the second keg was on the ball. But again, that's nearly 6%. So on Friday nights, on my Saturday nights when I do most of my drinking, I don't usually only have one or two sort of higher strength beers. Otherwise, I'm asleep and dribbling and stuff. So. And look, it's hard, you know. I can give someone a recipe, and you know, if you brew it at your house, it might not taste the same, right? But we can only do what we can do, right? Like I can't tell you the amount of messages I get is, oh, I brewed your recipe, your clone recipe that you did of insert name here, Hawkers or whatever, and it's not right. So I fixed it, and mine's much closer. Mine, I don't make mine up. Mine are the proper official recipes from the brewers. The Hawkers one I double checked, contacted him. When this is it? Yeah, that's it. So you know, you do what you do, and I try to keep things really simple. That's why I steer away from fruited beers and, you know, barrel aged stuff or the sour mixed beers like a dollar bill. I'd love to go and ask what's his name at Dollar Bill for a recipe, but we'd never ever. I mean, even me here would be struggling to, because it's all about blending. You know, when you get into those beers, it's about blending. They'll brew 2 or 3 different batches and blend them and age them in barrels, and it's just, you can't do it, right? So that's why I don't do many, you know, and also not limited edition beers, so people can still go and buy the brewery's beer. You know, the latest one I was going to do, showed you the can before, is the Raglan Haze from Bells Beach Brewing. At the time, they had the black IPA on, which was really nice. I enjoyed, but by the time I got one, there's only 6 beers left. They only do some very small batches. There's only 6 beers of it or something that was left in the fridge when I was there, and the kegs were finished. So that was it. So people could brew it, but they're never going to be able to compare it. And that was half the reason I started the brewery series during lockdown, was so people would still go and try and buy their beers to try and, you know, oh, I brewed it. Is mine the same? Is mine better? But all of mine are official recipes. There's not. I haven't done one. Not one of my brewery series videos are a guess. They're official. They're not. Rims is the best, as I always said. Rims is the best. A little bit more trickier. Herms is a very close second, but don't have a Herms in your HLT because that's just a nightmare. Have a small Herms. The smaller your Herms, the better. I know it sounds crazy, but it's just, every time you go to a brew shop, they'll try and talk you into doing a HLT system because it's money. But it's not effective. For those that don't know, a rim system is a small tube, kind of just like that filter behind me, with an element in it. You pass the wort, you pump the wort from your mash tun over the element and back into your mash tun. That's a RIMS. Recirculated, I don't remember what it stands for. Mash system, recirculated something mash system. So the wort is in direct contact with the element, though. So you got to get the right element. Although the 2000 normal one, infusion, there you go. Thanks, Brad. And it's the most effective because there's a little bit of wort. So it heats really fast and directly. The second best is the Herms. And the Herms is a different thing where you have a pot of water, water, and you have a coil in the water, like a chilling coil in the water. So you heat that pot of water and you pump. If the Herms is heat exchange recirculating manifold, I don't know what it stands for either. I know what it is. You pump through a coil and heat that water. And of course, it gets pumped through the coil. It's the reverse of a immersion chiller. Opposite, you're heating. But when you put it in your HLT, the size of a keg, right? Even to get a coil in the size of a keg, that round, and even if you made a coil only that big, which most of them are probably about half the size of a keg, in a keg, that's like 10 litres of water at least. When you get a decent sized one in your HLT, you're putting 15 litres in. What does that mean? Well, if you're trying to do a quick temperature change, all your temperature changes in your brewing should be quick. You can stuff your beer. If you're doing a protein rest and it's slow and you're sluggish, you're going to stuff your beer more than you're going to do it any good. So it's about quick changes and quick temperature changes. And if you're trying to quickly temperature change 15 litres of water, you can't. Unless you've got a fucking three-phase, 1,000, not 1,000, a huge element in there, you're not going to heat that quick. Also, if you fuck up, you can't cool it quick either. You can't quickly empty 15 litres and then fill it up and try and chill it and stuff like that. So Herms is good to have in a small thing, like 2 litres in a kettle. People used to use kettles. I was always going to make one. I've still got the kettles. I've still got the fucking copper coils, and I just never got around to doing it. Small, man. Small is better because you can heat that like that, the water in it. And if you overshoot, you can put a cup of cold water in and you bang, you've adjusted. So, but every time you go somewhere and you read on websites and you go to shops, they're going to try and sell you a Herm system for your HLT. And every person I know that has bought one has regretted it. Once they've seen how easy it is when you've got something small, right? It might be different if you're brewing 100 litre, 200 litre batches. I actually think it would be much different, but if you're brewing 5 gallon, 10 gallon batches, having a HLT, your Herms in a HLT is problematic. You're making things harder for yourself. The benefit of the Herms is that the wort isn't in direct contact with the element, so you can use any element. That's why you can do it in a Kmart $7 kettle. If you can get a small, they used to sell them. I don't know if they used to be able to buy them. These tiny little stainless steel things. My mate made one. That's why I bought it. I was going to make one and wrapped it around just a piece of copper pipe and wrapped it around a spray tin or something. Now that fitted in a kettle. It had got all kinks in it and stuff, but it didn't matter. It still let past wort through. That's the hardest thing, bending it without kinking it. But if you can fill it with salt or sand or whatever they do, it's still a bit tough to bend it really tightly. But small is better. Small is better. But the S grandfather has improved. Oh man, look, drinking. I don't want to offend people, and I drank fucking extract cans and I've still always got them hanging around. Although I've never used them lately. There's one just there on the shelf. And yeah, you can make a good beer, but as of the ad with how easy it is to get a first wort kit these days, just buy a first wort kit if you can afford it. Fuck money, right? I understand as much as anybody about money. I have this equipment, but I've been very lucky, But actually, not that fucking lucky. I do put a lot of work in the videos, and I probably deserve a lot more than I've got from these companies. I can't knock Keglen. They're nice to me, but most of the others aren't. These guys started nice, but we won't talk about that. Yeah, it's and fresh. It's fresh. If you do an extract fresh, it's really hard to brew a nice beer when you're using old stuff. And the yeast and temperature control. It's the most amazing. It's the most important thing in anything. We make the wort. The yeast makes the beer. You got to use the right yeast at the right temperature. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if you start with the world's best wort, brewed in the fanny of a Egyptian goddess, whatever that is, and then you stick the wrong yeast in, you fucked it. Are you going, Goose? Or you took some? I take it easy, Jason. Oh, look, I brewed some great beers out of tins. Don't get me wrong, and the best ones really are the dark tins. The dark tins, the stouts, and the Cooper's Dark Ale can brew a nice beer. I always started with the Cooper's Pale Ale because it was the least bitter. The Mexican beer, I think, was like half an IBU less bitter than the Pale Ale, but it had a twang to it that the Pale Ale didn't. The Pale Ale was just it was a blank canvas. And all in the end, by the time you're putting grain and hops and doing boils and shit, in the end, all it is I don't even know why we used them anymore. It was just like and a little bit of extra bitterness and malt. Like we could have just added, normal malt or like what do I mean, like an unbittered malt and you didn't even really need the tins, but the tins were cheaper. See, you get the Cooper's tins cheaper than if you went to a home brew shop and had to buy just a tin of malt of unbittered malt extract. It was usually more expensive, so it was cheaper just to go and get that $10 tin at the supermarket or whatever, and start just that as a little bit of a base. And I get it, price. Like if I had to go back to tins or whatever, of course, I'd probably end up doing it. But if first wort kit, you can buy a first wort kit for $30, $40 these days. A tin, if I go to buy a new tin of Cooper's extract, it's $20 or something, $18. By the time you buy the 1 or 2 packs of light dry malt, if you're buying it locally, BWS or Dan Murphy's or whatever, at least 30. You're heading to $40 already just for extract. Bang, you can go and buy a first wort kit, a lager, simple one, easily for $30. Oh, $35, $40, depending where you buy it and if you're close and don't have to pay for postage. That's the biggest problem. Yeah, Brad, they stopped here long ago. Oh, they did start again with these little boxes, which were like, I nearly went to buy one when they're on sale, but I looked at the date and I didn't notice them before, but they stopped here. They stopped with the Tui's ones a good couple of years ago, with the Cooper's ones, and the No Name ones stopped ages ago. And then, so I sort of stopped even looking. And then, they had the on sale stuff at the end of the end of the aisles. I looked and they had these little boxes, and it was like, like the fancy kits you used to get from home brew shops, where they have a tin in it and a box of malt and yeast and maybe a hop or something. They had little tins like that, but I think they only made like 15 litres or something. I don't know. They were the weirdest things. I nearly bought one out of interest, but they can't have lasted long. Because I never saw them on the shelves, and then they would just ended up on the sale shelves. I don't know what the hell they were. Maybe grain. It's starting to get. Yeah, I only saw them on the end of the shelf, and then I was there 1 week, and then went back and thought, oh, maybe I'll just buy one to make a video. But I'm kind of overdoing just videos for the sake of it. And then they were gone, and I never saw them. So I don't... Oh, cheers. Here's the juicy banger. Oh, some grain will get expensive, but the price we can buy Voyager at the moment from is like even from Kegland. I don't know what's it now. It's. I can't believe how cheap they're selling Voyager, and I mean I'd support Stuart, or if I had the money, even if he's worth twice as much, because he's just a fucking legend of a bloke. And I still haven't released that video yet because there was a bit of shit going down between A&HC and me, and well, A&HC seems to have totally disappeared, so that's why I might be able to release him lately. They wanted me to do all the work for nothing, and it's just, I don't get it. I'm not one of their workers, and I'm not a fucking volunteer for them. I'll promote them all I can, but what was I looking for? They seem to, once Grain and Grape went, they seem to have, A&HC was cancelled, which is the Australian National Homebrew Conference or whatever was cancelled. Who knows if it'll come back, because it was all John's. It wasn't all John. It was a whole committee and a few other people heavily involved, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen without John, unless someone else picks it up. Yeah, what's this? That was great. It was going to be in Queensland too. I think that was this year. It was going to be in Queensland, A&HC. So I would have had 3 days in Queensland with all home brewers and professional brewers. That would have been awesome. Yeah, look, you can get Voyager Atlas there. It's still only 63 bucks. As I said before, Gladfield's gone up. Gladfield we used to get around for around 65 bucks or something, but that's gone up to like 20 bucks. And Voyager's small batch can be traced to the actual field it came from. Yeah, I think I think they know their service. Like if you have problems, then maybe it's probably how you spoke to them or something, because they're pretty fucking good, man. Unless you've totally fucked up yourself, you know, and then they go, oh, hang on, man, that's all on you. But even still, man, I hear the stories all the time that they just help people out. I mean, you can't buy something for $2 and expect it to act like $100 one, right? West End all grain. What are you doing brewing West End? But no, good on you, Cloppy. Good on you, Clops. Well, today's brew, man. Oh, man, what am I saying, man? Hey, dude. Only had 2 kilo of grain in. I don't know how much of that is. It was 2 kilo of Atlas too. So 25 kilo for 60. I don't know. Work that out. A couple of bucks. And it was a pack and a half of these, and these I think were $4 a packet. It was a pack and a half of that, so that's $6 for a kilo of puff wheat, and 400 grams or mils of honey of a Woolworths honey. I don't know. That was a couple of bucks. Honey's a bit expensive at the moment, but still, it was only $3 or $4 or something. And 300 grams of honey malt, which I don't know, that's probably wouldn't be worth $1, I don't think. And only 15 grams worth of hops, which is fuck all. So it's probably $2 worth of hops or something. Probably not even. If only you knew a beekeeper. Yeah, I know. But what I wanted was a really really plain honey. So I could have asked you. I nearly did, but no. This was a Woolies. This was a whole thing about I only had 2 kilo of grain left, and what are you going to do? And so I went to Woolies and found what I could to make a beer, and that's what I did. How you going, Amp? See, I wouldn't use that honey you got from the kids, but they love it. Like they've been loving that. They're still eating that honey. It must be nearly finished now, but that's the thing. I really love strong honeys, but I'm not sure if I want a strong honey in my beer. Maybe. Good for a mead. I still haven't done the mead yet. How's your bee thing going, Amp? Is it starting to pick up now? The weather's warm. Yeah, I'm going to say it'll be time where they're all starting to get on the move. That's what my mate in Eddie that used to live across the road from Dave's, where I used to live in Brunswick. Oh, you've been out there, I think. I think you come out there. He paid fucking something stupid. It was $300 or $400 for them to come and get a fucking beehive out the yard. I said, man, fuck. Maybe even been 500. It was something stupid, and it was only a quick one. Like they'd only just turned up. Man, he told me Amp would love 500 in his pocket. I don't know how much you're charging now, but I'll take it easy, Cloppy. Say good day to the lovely wife for me. And I'll get over to bloody Radelaide soon, one of these days. Been a while. I'm going to have to go soon too, anyway. I was only going to be on for the boil. The whole idea was be on for the boil, put it in the cube, and then turn off, but the boil ended up not starting till after the Melbourne Cup, and the Melbourne Cup, because I was a kid anyway. Doesn't matter. Neck minute. I'm a scooter at the dairy. I can't do it. Sense. Neck minute. Yeah, he was IJ. He was because his dad's, but he's still overreacted. His dad or someone is apparently allergic to them. So, but he's one of my old mates that I've known in Melbourne for a very very long time. But he still think I'm an ass because he's one of my only good, really good friends I know for years in Melbourne. But the bees would have a higher IQ than Eddie. I love Double D, but he would have just rang the first person, come and get him. My dad's gonna die. I love you, Eddie. That one wrong camera. I love you, Eddie. You know I love you, Eddie. You know you're never gonna leave that street. He might be watching now. No, he won't be watching. Yeah, and it's like, well, fucking stay inside. And his old man wouldn't be going outside anyway, I can tell you. The only reason his old man would be going outside was to be going and get a beer from the beer fridge, where Eddie could do that anyway. Yeah. Oh, cool, Steve. Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be happening. I won't have the paper on the wall by then because it's a year course, but it doesn't matter. You know me anyway, so it's my paper on the wall is more for people that don't know me. But yeah, we'll do that. No worries. I'll let people know and stuff. Take it easy, Graham. Thank you. Thanks everyone for dropping in and those that tipped and that. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. And I'm sorry about the ads thing. Someone said they were getting ads. I don't know about that. Apparently they're automatic. I don't know how often they've been coming on. I don't see it. All I've got is my one screen here that's just got my, the thing that makes it work. OBS. So, I've got to go and have surgery. 10 days away, shit. But it's minor. It'll be all right. I was going to say I won't be on for a while, but I think I'll be fine. You had a couple? I've only had, well, no, I've probably had 3 or 4 now sitting here, maybe 5. This fermenter hasn't even been used. I think this was used once. Wouldn't mind another beer though. I might just pretend I'm still alive. Unless people want to chat about something. Ugh, I can't have another one of these. These are knocking me around. My juicy bangers, Jesus. They knock you around. I know. It feels like I've got a stream, like, because I stream on Saturday nights. It feels like it's weird that the kids and the wife have been home all day and not like the wife not working and stuff. I keep thinking it's like a Saturday. I had 6 beers on a scone. No worries, Goose. And I'll try and get on time too. I know I've been late all the time, but it's hard here because it's still daylight. It's still broad daylight. I'm used to going in there every dark, and the kids have gone to bed, and the wife's gone to bed, and I just go in and start streaming. But nowadays, with the good IJ. Are you local, Steve? Are you, in Melbourne local? Or the fuck was that? You right? You need a hand? You okay? Girl fell off a bike. I wonder what that noise was. She's a funny little thing. She doesn't like me. She's scared of me. They're all Indians and Indians in this street, but she's always been scared of me. I think she just graced at me, the poor little thing. I think the whole of Melbourne's Indians now. I'm not being racist, it's just the truth. Bloody everywhere. They're nice people, though. That's racist. I usually get a malt from a malter very close to my home. It's $1.65 a kilo. What's that work out? $25. Oh, that's pretty cheap. That's a good price, Australian. Manuel, that's good. I keep telling them to bring me some tucker. I always say it. Tell your mum to bring down some food. Oh, hey, how you going, Tim Huntsman? There was one lady over here for a while, and I used to go, what are you doing? She was hanging in the garden and she was pinching flowers. And I went, oh, I don't care, love. Yeah, go for it. She goes, oh, it's my religion. My religion. Oh, yeah. And I said, no, go for it. What, to pinch things? No. Anyway, go for it. And she goes, oh, yeah, but, and then she come back and, some food in a Tupperware container or whatever. And she goes, oh, because I take the flowers for her, ritual or whatever it is, we have to bring you an offering. Oh, she said offering. That's probably, some food. I went, cool. Oh, yeah, all right, thank you, because I love curry. Oh, of course it was Indian food. And but anyway, I grabbed the pot off her and took her and said, oh, put it in a... She couldn't speak very good English. So put it in something. I need my container back. Oh, yeah, all right. Put it in. That was good tucker. Yeah, take it easy, Steve. Thank you. Oh, you're going to visit for it. Awesome. And anyway, cool. Nice feed. And she went away. Then, you know, every day she was back for flowers. And then, say, like a week later, bring more food. Brent bought me some more food. It was good. But then I came out one day. She was picking flowers in the front yard. And she goes, oh, I can't do the accent and stuff. Yeah, I probably did it. And she goes, I'm over it. Like, she of course, she didn't say over it, but in her language and the language, she goes, I'm over it. In England, in India, we have servants. I think she actually said slaves. But, you know, and since we've come over here and I'm with my sons, they're making me do everything. I have to do the washing and the cooking, and that's probably why she's getting the flowers and stuff. She goes, I'm over it. I said, fair enough. I said, I would be too. I'd be going home to have some servants myself. And she goes, in the weather, it's too bloody cold. Like, this was in her language. And then I thought, oh, she's having a bad day. But then I caught up with her again, you know, a couple of days later, and she said the same thing. She said, I'm over this. I'm going back to home to have servants and get them to do stuff for me instead of me, you know, doing stuff for my son. And then she's gone. Haven't seen her again. I'd be gone too. The food's good though, but none of the others. I keep saying, tell your mum to bring me down some bloody curry. Good stuff. They brought down some stuff for Diwali before, but it's sweets. I'm not allowed to really eat sweets. Sweets. Lollies. No, but they weren't lollies. They were like sweet. I finished. I was brewing a honey lager. It's the only thing that I do is wash up the brew kettle, but I finished. Yeah, you actually don't smell it as much as I'd like. What's that? What's you? What's the matter? Thank you about the bin. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're in, Steve. You're in. I don't know when it's going to start, but won't be January or whatever. Yeah, it'll be after the school holidays. All right. Well, I'm going to have one more beer. I might go and get the original Tritordium, as I was talking about before, the original lager one. Just something that palate cleanser. All right, I think that's all filtered now. Be a bit of piss here at the moment. Excuse the language. I forgot a jar of it too. There's a jar I forgot to second distill, so there's still a bit more to put through. What For that one more lid. I'll find it later. Oh, I put my glasses down. These are different ones. I'll do. So there's that. That's about 700 mil. And probably another 700 mil. These have been watered down to 40%, and that's probably another liter and a quarter, 5 pints. No, 5 cups, 2.5 pints. Is that right? I don't know what it is. It can't be right. 2 pints isn't 4 cups, is it? What it says on the jar. That doesn't seem right. I haven't looked at those settings before. Anyway. In here. How you doing, Martin? Should. All right, so these are all watered down and now been distilled 3 times and filtered 3 times. What I do is I put the full batch through the big still that I got, that one from Viva or whatever. Oh, it's behind over there. It's in the box behind the amp. I put it through that first because it's like can take, you know, the whole 19 litres in one go. And look, I could run that back through that, but it's just so easy for the second and third run to just put it through the air still. You know what I mean? I've already taken that 19 litres down to, I don't know what it gets taken. Excuse me, gets taken down to like 3 litres or something like that. And then I just run it through the air still. Only if I didn't have the air still, I'd run it through the big still again. But it's just so easy with the air still. That's a Viva air still too. Apparently Kegland are bringing it. Maybe they have already, but I don't know. They're so easy. And there's no, I was saying it before on my Patreon channel. People try to make distilling as it's like this, and even I stayed away from it. It was like this magical science, and it's easier than brewing beer. Brewing beer is a lot harder and technical than fucking brewing spirits by a mile. Like, it depends what you want to do, but really in the end, you're brewing, yeah. The brew bit's so easy. Even, I was going to say you can totally forget about sanitation. You shouldn't totally forget about sanitation. I don't. I still do it all, but, you know, it's more lax on all that side. And the ferment is easy. You can use bread yeast if you want. You know, it's that all these recipes of adding kale or spinach or bran, I've found it to make actually, if you're making just a neutral spirit, to make absolutely no difference at all. Like, there's, you know. Exactly, yeah. That would be perfect for them. And it's so easy. It's just so easy. I don't have one of these big fancy, you know, pack of stills that cost thousands of dollars. But I'm not trying to do anything fancy. I'm just making alcohol. And I think that's what most people want to do anyway. Again, Kegland, they were going to give me stuff, but they probably know that I can't. There's only so much I can put on YouTube without someone here will, you know, try and get me in trouble or something. And so they're dealing with the gardening guy because he's got a license. So. And good on him. He seems like a good bloke. I mean, they probably still would help me out. I mean, they've sent me everything about it all the way from like 2 years ago. I was learning about all that the plastic still stuff they've got. I saw all the designs and all that. It's so easy, Martin. But yeah, it's fuck. It's like, especially because you brew beer, right? So you've probably got yeast nutrient So you don't worry about tomato paste. That stinks, man. I know my only video I've really done is probably with tomato paste, but that's what everyone starts with, right? The bird watchers TP. It stinks. It's horrible, man. That's horrible. The end product's fine, right? But from the smell of the ferment, and the only reason the tomato's there is for yeast nutrient. So if you've got yeast nutrient, just put your yeast nutrient in. Bang, done. And that's what people put in the kale and the spinach and all this stuff you see. It's for content. It's like what I say about the brewing. Oh, I'm going to brew this, I can't talk too much because I'm using this in a beer today. But, you see all these, I'm distilling fucking cornflakes or whatever. By the time you ferment it and distill it, man, you must have the taste buds of a bloody angel to be able to tell the difference at the end. So for easy distilling, sugar, man. You just say sugar, white sugar. Red yeast is fine. And some yeast nutrient. Watch your pH. So you can adjust your pH, but as a beer brewer, if you're brewing all grain, you've got pH stuff there, right? You've got it there. You can still use the citric acid or the lemon juice if you want, like they say, but the lemon juice, again, is, it's a guessing game. But it's fine to use a little bit of citric acid. There is calculators online. So it roughly estimates your pH. Because that's the main thing, the pH, because you add so much yeast. Like with the bread yeast, you add like 75 grams or whatever to a batch. And I was always on the heavy side because I know that more yeast is good. And what happens is, and it happens in beer too, your pH drops once the yeast starts working. But because you're adding so much yeast and you've got a lot of, you're trying to brew a batch about 13-14% because that's what most yeast can handle. So I think mine, between 12, 13, 14%. So your pH can drop really fast. And then sometimes, it's only happened to me once though, that you go, why has it stopped fermenting? And it's just the pH. And so you just add, I think I added some, I can't remember exactly. I think it was calcium, whatever it is that raised the pH up a little bit. I think it was whatever I've got here that raises pH. I can't remember. Calcium chloride, something, whatever. I just added a little, like a spoon to it, a teaspoon, and bang, off it went again. So finished, and then gone, done, finished. But that's it. That's yeast nutrient. So sugar, water, and yeast, right? And yeast nutrient to keep the yeast happy, and something to adjust the pH. And that's why you see these recipes is sugar, water, and whether they use, like you see, once you start watching them, spinach and kale and tomato paste and all this other stuff. And they'll say some other guy's a genius because he made up this other recipe that's, I think it's TPPW or whatever it is, which is, I can't remember what it's called, but it's fucking sugar and water and some yeast nutrient. It's really, really easy, right? Really, really easy. I can't remember. It might have been sodium bicarbonate. I can't remember what it is. So it will be on video somewhere. I just haven't uploaded or edited it. It was something that raised the pH, so it probably might have been sodium bicarbonate because most of the other stuff drops it. Baking soda, yeah, I think that's probably what it was. Even though baking soda, there's all stories about that with pH that it doesn't actually dissolve and it's fucking just in suspension. But it doesn't matter. It works. Works. So yeah, it's all exactly right, Martin. But it's so easy. It's so easy. You don't have to worry about. Well, yes, you don't want temperature fluctuations because you want the yeast to work. But I don't put them in the brew fridge unless I have to. Most of the time, they can happily sit out in the garage. They do because you can pump them through. The bread yeast can go at 25, 26, 28 degrees. So they do. I haven't done many in the winter just because of that. I could do it with a heat belt on it and stuff. But now it's getting warmer here. I'll just start throwing them in, and I'll have a heat belt on them, but leave them out in the garage. Won't bother about cooling or anything. So I'll get them done before it gets to 40 degrees in January or February. But I don't have to do many. I don't drink that much spirits. And this is from... it's hard to say one batch now because what happens is you brew one batch and you've heard about taking cuts. So you throw away the first 100 mil. I don't throw it away. I keep it as sanitizer and stuff, right? The first 50 mil, 100 mil, whatever it is, whatever you decide to do, it smells like acetone and it's more methanol and you don't want to drink it. It's bad for you. That's the stuff that makes you go blind and all that sort of stuff. But it's only a little bit. It's a tiny, tiny little bit. In an air still, when you're only doing a couple of litres, like it's probably done in the first 30, 40 mil. Way before that. In the full big batch, even through the full big batch, when I do the initial stripping run, they might call it. I still do the cuts in the stripping run. It doesn't matter. It's only 50 to 100 mil that I get rid of, just to be extra safe, and it doesn't matter. And then you got the what they call the heads, which you can still drink them. They smell a little bit different, and then the hearts in the middle is kind of neutral, smells like alcohol, and then it's the end stuff that's really bad. The tails, it smells like wet dog. And you learn it really quickly. I always thought, oh, God, it's a science and it's going to take me ages. No. You pick it up really, really quickly because the smell is so different. The heads is the hardest bit because you think, that's great, that's fine. But then you realise, oh, that middle bit is much more neutral. But then once you get to that end bit, it stinks like wet dog. And so what happens is you do your first batch and some people throw away that hearts, the heads and the tails, throw them away. But most people keep them. And so the next batch, when you do that initial distilling or whatever, you throw them back in. You throw those bits in because there's all alcohol in there, right? And some of it's good alcohol. There'll still be a bit of shit in there because that's the stinky bits. But the cuts is where you split it into parts, right? And I'm lazy, so I put them into big parts. And so that means I get lots of leftover at the start, lots of leftover at the end. And so every time you do it, you distill again, you've got extra. So you put it back in and distill it again. And then the next batch, you put all those other bits you haven't used again back in. And you keep distilling it until you over and over again. So this is actually one batch, but bits and pieces from probably all my batches have gone back into these, except for that poisonous bit at the start, except for that. Yeah, that I keep all them for sanitizing. I clean my 3D printer bed with it. Labels or the texture that I put on top of these things. And this is 40%, but it's one batch and a bit. So, and this is the good stuff, filtered and aired, and there'll be a video coming up. I've got to watch what I do. Australians got to watch what they do, right? Look. Because people are arseholes, and even me talking about it now, I'll probably get fucking reported by somebody. Sad, but that's what fucking happens, because they think you're rich or whatever. Wife back from being at the shops. That's for the car window. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that methyl. And you're exactly right. How people use methylated spirits in their car window, and that's the start of it. The methanol bit's not good to. You don't want to drink the methanol bit, and then the ethanol bit comes out in the middle. That's the alcohol that you drink. But that start bit's so small. There's many levels, John, but yeah, you're not really supposed to make your own spirits. Yeah, exactly, Granny. It's always about 100 mil on my big setup. In my air still, sometimes I do 100, somewhere between 40 and 100 because I'm not staring at it. So whenever I come back. So, but yeah, fuck, anyone can do it. It's really not hard. I mean, I've had one of the ones for my for the Brewzilla, but the wife used to work for the water company. And I didn't want to waste water, and yeah, you have a lot of water running. So when I got the Viva one, it's all done from one single bucket, which is really easy. Which I probably could have done with the other one, but more hassle. And then the air still doesn't use any water, so it's just yeah, that's it, Brad. You don't tell, you don't sell. But the trouble with them online, isn't it? So. But yeah, I didn't talk about this much, but this was why is my camera's looking dirty or something? Oh, it's just the light, I think. This one's just about crystal, but this was 50-50 that Trotordium and a pale ale, and just simply hopped with the light's looking fucking terrible in here. It's a setting on the camera. Now it's in the dark though. Oh, that's probably better. Natural light. Oh no, it's a bit fuzzy, isn't it? Doesn't matter. I'm not going to be here for much longer. Yeah, it's not really working either, is it? Take it easy, man. Man. Thanks for dropping in. So, yeah, this had a little bit of Cascade at 60 and a tiny little bit of Cascade at 15 just to give it some flavour. I just wanted to find out what this hop was like, this malt was like. And I'm getting some honey from it. Only small, but it's there. That's with Nova Lager. And that's what made me think about when I saw those honey poppers going, oh, I'm going to use a little bit of that, buy some honey. Yeah, so that's the idea. All right, I should probably go. Yeah. Where are you going, fishing? What island? Phillip Island? No, where are you? You bastard. It's supposed to be hot tomorrow, too. Hopefully it's not too windy, eh? Do you ever go to Western Port? Western Port's the go, man. Go squidding at Western Port. Oh, yeah. Although the island would be pretty good, too. I'll have to come down with you one day, eh? Have a fish. Next, I'll have to have a look. Next Tuesday, I should be here unless I'm at the Zoo Amph. I should be here. I should be here next Tuesday. I should be here. Take it easy, Steve. No, thank you very much. Hey, was fun. See you Saturday night, Goose. Good to see you, Amp. Yeah, message me. Just there's a whole heap of shit going on. Next week I'm busy, but Monday I've got to go out. I'm going to see that band at the tiny little pub across the old public bar, the Last Chance Rock and Roll bar, and that's Monday night. So I might be a bit rusty although I'm trying not to drink because then I've got to go out on Thursday. Be busy next week, but I should be here on Tuesday. Take it easy, David. Fucking happy rocketing. Heaps of fun. Have you 3D printed any now? Because I want a 3D print one. I mean, it's only the body. Once you've got your motor base, I mean, you don't want to burn plastic. But Doesn't matter. Mine were made out of paper. So, anyway, we'll talk about that another time. Lady Julie Percy Island, big kingfish. Fair enough. Do they still fire at the gas plant to attract the fish once? Oh, you mean down here? You mean down at Warmies? Is that what you're talking about, Innocent? Or I wouldn't eat a fish out of the Warmies. Jesus Christ! I know people go down there and catch them. I go fishing. I haven't been fishing actually. Oh no, I have once there. I've been planning to go back this year, but I'm a bit scared to eat any. Rocket trigger. Oh, okay, cool. Anything on this side of the bay that comes out anywhere near, this Western Port. Oh, no, Western Port's the other side. Where Warmies is, far out. Everything's got three eyes, man. The power plant's there that grew fish that makes the water warm, but other things come out of there as well, not just the warmth. Oh, Warrnambool would be cool too. All right, yeah, the mozzies are starting to come. Oh, fuck, that's the one thing I didn't like about summer out here. All right, yeah, I'll go too. Take it easy. Thanks, everyone, for hanging around. I was only supposed to be here for an hour, and it's how long have I been here for? 4 hours. Thanks very much. Sorry I swear so much, but that's just it. Sorry about my saggy tits. I've lost a lot of weight, and I've got saggy tits. One day my health insurance doesn't cover getting them cut off. Take it easy, just jokes. But I'll see you next time. Oh god, that's going to be on YouTube, isn't it? Oh, maybe I can edit that end off. No one watches this far into a YouTube video. All right, take it easy. Thanks very much. Love to everyone. Thank you for all the people that donated or whatever it's called, made the things. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Did you clip it? Should have. Cheers and nibble you later. Fuck off, all this. All right. Funny fuckers. Take it easy. Have a good week. I keep thinking it's the weekend. It's Melbourne Cup Day. Hope you had a win. Should have listened to my daughters. Take it easy. Much love and have a good week. Now I've got to turn the light on. Trip over. Where's the stop button? Cheers, Andy. Take it easy. Andy's Workshop in DIY. I've got to check out your channel. I'm not sure if I have. Andy's Workshop in DIY. Titler. Frog spawn. Sorry, Frog. We're just turning off. Andy's Workshop. Can I click on that? Oh, I can go to channel. Oh. All right. I can hear Andy. Can you hear Andy? I can't see him because I've only got one screen. I can hear him. That must be Andy. What are you making? Roller bender. Oh, a bender. Cool. We used to make all that sort of things in my old work. Anytime we needed anything. Quite fucking solid there, Andy, too. I'll watch that later. All right. Take it easy. Peace, love, and hippie beans. Whatever that means. Oh, it's getting dark. And a little pumpkin. Cheers, Frog. I'm doing all right. Thank you. Twitch. I might get... what time is it? Oh, the kids and their wife will go to bed in about half an hour. You never know. You never know. Maybe in Twitch in half an hour. Maybe. I've got stuff to do tomorrow, though. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I could be on Twitch in about half an hour. 45 minutes. See you later. I got to go. Take it easy.